What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Terror Table. We are on episode 105, and I'm one of your regular hosts named Mitch, and alongside me, as always, is...
I'm Buzi.
And we are a horror podcast. So horror movies, thrillers, we tend to bend the definition a little bit, quite a bit, actually, but we just try and open up the topic, open up the conversation to anything sort of spooky or out of the normal. Buzi, would you like to take it away from here?
Yes, I have something special made. Do you want to talk about our guests first?
I thought you were going to intro our guests.
No, you will do that.
Okay. As we discussed last week, if you tuned in, Buzi was originally going to do an episode by himself because Diego couldn't make it this week, and I am busy, but I've made tonight work, and so you can't escape me just yet. But Buzi has recruited two former guests of the show.
Not one, but two.
Not one, but two. And we didn't know that you guys actually knew each other. So I know, yeah. But either way, we got Mike Fisher is back.
Hey. Hi.
And so you've heard Mike on episodes such as our episode on The Strangers, our Star Wars bonus episode. You were, what was Glass? So you've been on three times now?
Yes, 3 times.
Okay. And right now, across from him, we have JOHN ALLISON, the director. Sorry, I always forget this.
Still the director.
Still the director of the Saskatoon Fantastic Film Festival, who was on just a couple of months ago talking about the film fest that he brings here every year with his pals. How are you doing, John?
Pretty good. Yeah.
Good. Happy to have both of you guys back. I think we were hoping to have this as a little bit of a meet cute, but I guess you guys know each other. All right, Buzi, would you like to take it away from here?
Yeah, okay.
It's very natural. We're smooth like butter over here.
All right, here I go. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another year of sexual healing, brought to you by the lovers at the Terror Table. Valentine's might be over, but the temperature is still moist and the dudes are looking fine. As a special treat to all you listeners, feel free to consider this episode as one free IOU coupon for a gentle back rub with undertones of sexual tension, with approved consent, of course.
Thank you, Buzi.
You're welcome.
It's getting warm in here.
We're 5 minutes in and I'm already steaming. All right, and with all that being said, we're going to be discussing, I guess we opened up the floor. Buzi asked the listeners to make a decision on what we were going to be talking about today.
And we had a lot of suggestions.
We had a lot of suggestions, and Buzi picked out of a hat, and out came Maximum Overdrive, directed and written by Stephen King himself. So we'll get into that for our main feature, but before that, we're going to get into all of our other shenanigans, hear what John and Mike have been up to since they've been on last. Buzi and I will talk about what we've seen. We'll share some news, and just a quick reminder that next week we will continue our Creature Features series with Diego's pick, Rawhead Rex. After that, you can expect an episode with our former guest and friend Larry Parsons of the Rank and Review podcast, also co-director/writer of the Saskatoon-based horror film Book of Trespasses. He will be on to discuss his pick, A Dark Song, which is on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, get on it now so you can join the conversation with us. I know it was on my top 10 of 2008 to 2017. Mm-hmm. Buzi, have you seen it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and I think Diego hasn't seen it, so that our mission failed because I really want him to see that movie.
Yeah.
Either way, it's going to be a great episode. We can't wait to talk about that with Larry. And then after that, you can expect a book club episode. Sorry that's taking so long.
Finally.
Yes. I'm not even going to make excuses. That's going to happen in March. All right. Who should we get started off with? Should we get started with Mike or should we get started with John?
Well,
rock, paper, scissors.
Sorry, I have a better idea. It's going to be John because he's been on less episodes. We're tired of hearing from you, Mike.
Right.
So,
no, that makes
John,
sense.
You can go first.
I was going to throw a jagged hockey stick in the middle and let them battle to the death.
See what happens.
Yeah.
So what have I been up to? Not much. Watched a whole bunch of shows.
Well, that's the best part. We want to hear about.
Yeah, that's what we want to hear about. And last time you were on, the festival hadn't even happened yet.
No, so I watched 19 movies that weekend.
Yep.
I think, or is it 20? I don't know.
It was
I lose track.
A great year. I did 13 of them.
Cool.
I think so. Yeah, that was awesome.
I did them all except for one, and that was because I wanted to skip the late night one, so I'd be up in the morning for cartoons.
Oh yeah.
And,
What was the late night one? That one?
Lutz.
Lutz, okay.
German one, yeah. Which kind of hit and miss, but I
know Tyler Baptist loved it. So.
Yeah, it's one where people either loved it or kind of hated it. It's also one I thought we should have done earlier in the night.
Yeah, that's
it's so slow.
Yeah.
And,
hey, how did the cartoons go over? I wasn't able to make it.
I don't know. I was busy running out getting cereal constantly over and over again.
Oh, really? You kept running out of cereal?
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay, age-old debate here. What was the most eaten cereal that day? Do you remember?
No clue.
Okay, Fruit Loops wins again. That's what we'll say.
Fruit Loop.
Fruit Loops is number one.
When I brought back,
I think so.
I brought back one box of Chex at one point, and someone freaked out. And they're like, "Oh my god, Chex!" And I'm like, "Oh, that's
Oh my god, what a weirdo! Should have kicked them out for that.
Yeah, that one strange guy. Oh, Chex.
Yeah, Chex. That's like the fucking weirdo who says like mini wheats.
This is a spoiler alert, but that was my favorite scene in Maximum Overdrive. Is when
Oh my God,
when
Mike.
something happens and there's many boxes of cereal on the counter, like those ones we used to have when we were camping. You know,
Yeah.
those like little tiny
The single
individual
serve.
Where
And
you
I was
pour
like,
milk in them?
Yes, yeah, and you, like so labor intensive.
Just got a
and-
box of milk here.
and they never work, but it was fun because everybody could be like, "Oh, I want whatever Fruit Loops or whatever." But it was like I haven't seen those in years, and that was like the single best shot of the movie.
I still buy those for camping.
Yes.
So you can still buy them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just all in Fruit Loops. Best cereal. Everyone go once. Best
I
cereal.
can't decide, but
Cinnamon
like
Toast Crunch.
Honey
no,
Nut
like,
Cheerios. Honey Nut Cheerios.
Honey Nut Cheerios is classic, but
it's pretty good.
yeah.
But Captain Crunch or Corn Pops for me, ones that you gotta
Corn
like.
Pops is great.
The top of your mouth needs to be bleeding after
Yeah.
you're done eating it.
Captain Crunch and Corn Pops, actually, both of those.
Yes, they
bleed
both
your-
like
yeah.
give you
I
some
always
trouble.
found Captain Crunch you can feel after or smell after when you go to the washroom.
Oh my God.
So
it's like that
kinda
theater
like it's
popcorn
somehow-
smell.
Yeah, it doesn't go away. So it's like no, like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Just leave
Awesome.
a trail.
Okay, sorry for that. Continue, John.
Okay, so yeah,
I will not cut you off next.
Well, so usually I go into hibernation after the festival because I just wind down and I can't watch anything. But I did since then Halloween.
The new one? Okay.
Yeah, the new one.
Let's talk about what you think. Okay, sorry, I thought you were moving on.
No, except for the ending.
Yeah, 'cause it sucked.
Yeah, I wanted the big showdown and I didn't feel I got it. And that the rest of the movie,
pretty
lots
cool.
of fun. And
Did
everything.
you enjoy the comedy aspects of it?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
I know that was hit or miss for a lot of people. I thought it was pretty good.
I like when you have some comedy in horror movies. Or you go so far to the extreme that you have too much. Then stuff like Tucker and Dale is so much fun.
Yeah.
And that, but Halloween had a good mix and everything. And that. So finally saw Hereditary.
Okay.
With all these, I feel like yes, they're good, and yes, they're great movies, and I love them, and that, and it's all been said, kind of like Toni Collette is great. It's like creepy, it's disturbing. The scenes are like everything about it is just great.
Did you have any of it spoiled for you beforehand? Okay,
No.
so you actually did get to
I-
experience it a little
I
better.
have a tendency to skip trailers.
Yeah.
And that,
Which isn't a bad
I go
thing.
in blind to most movies, or at least I try to. The only exceptions are like all the Marvel crap and stuff like that. Those
Easy.
How
I just
dare
like
you.
jump in.
You just split the table,
No.
like,
Oh,
right? But like it was half
Well,
here,
when-
and I'm with you.
When we get to the stuff I just recently watched,
Hereditary is on Netflix, by the way.
Is it?
It is just
It is now?
like the last couple days.
Unanimous
This guy's
territory.
breaking the news here.
Number one across the board for us.
oh yeah, like it was so good and everything. Get Out.
Okay.
Finally saw that. That to
So,
me
what
is-
made it? Why? How did you not see it for so long? Are you racist?
No.
If it makes you feel better, I didn't really like it that much, and I got called racist for it.
Yeah. Truthfully, I watch a few hundred movies throughout the year. You
I
guys
know.
actually probably watch more than me, truthfully.
Really?
But I find I watch so much through
I feel
the
like I've
festival.
just been knighted.
You definitely watch more horror movies than I do.
Yeah.
And that. But I find I watch so many movies through the festival that I just kind of burn out, and then everything I see is actually stuff with my 16-year-old now, and it's like, okay, so we're going to Marvel, we're going to all the big blockbusters, things like that. That's the stuff I see in theater. All the small ones, I'm already watching movies throughout constantly, so I'm kind of like, oh, I just don't feel like going to a movie. And that I've also got to the point where theater-going audiences have really ticked
It's been
me off.
awful.
Yeah, I'm almost at the point of not wanting to go anymore. It's different when I run at the festival, things like that. The crowd feels different. They're into it. I get so pissed off at everyone when I go to the theater. And we had, so the reason I know Mike is because I was on his podcast a long time ago.
Oh, yeah,
But-
yeah.
Yeah, no, thanks for listening, guys. I appreciate
No,
that.
you know what sucks is that I actually do listen to everyone, and I remember that now.
Yeah.
That was like one of your first ones.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Out
we
of
had
out of the 6 that I've done.
Yeah, no, but yeah, damn it.
Yeah, and we had
God.
that discussion about the whole
Oh, yeah,
reserve
it's
seating
brutal.
and stuff. And I get so, even the cheap theaters now are going reserve seating, and it
Yeah.
ticks me off even more.
I know, that's
so, yeah.
ridiculous. But, okay, quick.
Oh, yeah, so Get Out, though. Unless
Get
you-
Out's great. Just quickly, I went and saw Cold Pursuit the other, opening night a couple weeks ago. Goddamn, people shower before you go see movies. I was sitting beside.
yeah.
Is the slightest form of terrorism. Is just fucking going into a theater stinking.
Have you seen In Order of Disappearance?
No.
Watch it. It's the original.
Oh, right. Yeah. I want to see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
Get Out. Really loved it. I don't think it's scary.
No.
In that, I had. Friends.
You're also a white man.
Yeah, but I love. My favorite part in the movie is the girlfriend at the end when the cop drives up and just the look on her face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that sums up the movie perfectly for me.
Yeah.
I love that movie for that.
Oh, it's genius.
Yeah. So now the stuff. This is just like last week and everything. I watched Mon Monsters.
What
you guys
is
heard
this?
of that?
Monsters.
I've only heard of monsters.
Nope. Okay, cool. So 2017 Taiwan horror film. It is all about bullying and stuff like that. There's a geeky kind of guy who's being bullied by the whole class. Even the teacher's kind of into bullying him.
I love bullying.
Yeah. He basically ends up getting forced to do this kind of community service with the bullies. When they're out, they run into what is basically probably some type of vampire and that, but
This
the
is
vampire
really cool
gets hit by a car. They then take that vampire and make it their prisoner, and they bully the vampire and torture it.
Oh, damn.
And everything. If you can handle a movie with characters that you pretty much hate across the board,
We watch nothing but horror movies, man.
you have to hate these characters.
Yeah.
And it's just them. And the monsters are actually more compelling than the characters themselves. I found you have basically there's two vampires and they're sisters, and so the one sister's a prisoner. The other sister's trying to find her vampire sister and everything, and they're just torturing the shit out of this vampire.
Sorry, not to cut you off. That kind of reminds me of, is it All the Boys Love Mandy Lane?
Or
it's the...
Are you thinking
It's a
Dead
little
Girl?
Dead Girl is the one I was thinking about. Have you seen Dead Girl?
Is that the one where there's a girl in the basement and the kids
Yes.
are going...
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that one. There's a lot more sexual stuff going
Okay.
on. This doesn't.
That
have
just
that.
kind of reminded me of that, what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
This has a good second climax. The one right before it is
Those are
okay.
always my favorite.
Yeah, and that.
So sorry, monsters.
Mon monsters.
Oh, mon. Okay, because I was looking up.
M-O-N.
Does
okay.
anybody actually say that in the movie? Sounds like a Scooby-Doo kind of thing.
No, it translates to something else actually. I can't remember what it is, but yeah. So the stuff I usually try to track down, if you haven't figured out, is all the festival stuff. This was one that did a whole festival circuit and stuff like that. We actually wanted it for the festival, and I just never got to see it. And that, so I was kind of like, when you said, "Hey, we want to be on here," I'm like, "Oh shit, I got a reason to go
catch
watch."
up,
Go play catch up.
This looks really cool.
I liked it a lot. Like I said, I hated every character in it.
Yeah.
But by the end, I kind of had this grin on my face and
Awesome.
everything from it. Yeah, and that. And then because I saw the list of the people, what they were posting, and then you told me what we were going to watch.
You try and not have so much disdain. You make it seem like I just was to spite you.
I was gonna talk about this in the main feature, but I talked about this with Buzi before. I love that we bring on John, who's like this prestigious film. He's a film connoisseur. He's the Saskatoon Fantastic Film Festival. We bring him on for fucking Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah.
Okay, so I love Tucker and Dale. There's a ton of great.
If this is about Maximum Overdrive, wait until later.
Well, Blood Car is really good.
Blood Car,
like
okay.
there's a lot of good, bad, silly movies. Yeah,
Okay.
I was gonna say, this reminds me of if I invited Gordon Ramsay over and tried to make him like scrambled eggs.
That's exactly it.
So I ended up watching I Saw the Devil because someone posted
Yes.
on it. I love Kim Ji Woon and everything. What's his name? Choi Min Sik from Old Boy.
You could have said any name at this point. I would have been like, yes.
Him, I think he's an amazing actor. If you ever get a chance, watch a movie called Crying Fist. It's all about boxing, and it's a retired boxer and this young kid, and they're both going through different paths and they end up fighting each other at the end. And it has one of the best boxing matches ever.
Crying Fist sounds like my Friday nights.
I was waiting for someone. Mitch isn't going to make a joke.
No.
But yeah, I love I Saw the Devil.
Have you seen it before?
Yeah, I'd seen it
it's
before,
so
but I
good.
hadn't seen it since
That just
then.
sparked your...
Yeah, and
I
I
love
was
that
kind of like,
movie.
once. It was actually, it was between this and A Tale of Two Sisters. I was going to go watch one of them.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
everything.
Bianca chose that one. And I've seen that. Have you seen that as well? Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do it eventually.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll bring you back on for that one.
Cool.
There you go.
I need a reason to go
You already
watch it
got
again.
reserved seating here.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, I Saw the Devil. Basically, woman gets killed. The serial killer is up in the, you know who he is. He's there.
Front and center.
the woman who's killed, her boyfriend or fiance is a special agent. And he basically sets out to take apart the serial killer.
He's the most lethal fucker.
Oh, God, yeah.
It is. Have you seen Ice on the Devil? It is so good. I can
is.
lend it to you. It's great.
Awesome. Yeah.
It is on Netflix
Cool.
or Shudder.
It's like one of the best like revenge thriller movies.
I love revenge.
I loved it, but like they're going to be doing an American remake of it, which normally I was like, fuck no, like that movie's perfect. Just learn how to read. But it's going to be Adam Wingard and Simon Barrett, and from what I've heard, they want to do like it's going to be polar. It's going to be so different. So I'm like, if you're going to change it up that much, okay.
It is dark. It's bleak.
Yeah.
There's a scene where the serial killer gets in a car with a cab
Oh,
driver
man.
and someone in the back seat, and just where that thing goes, it's
You know what you're in for right from the beginning, though. Like the opening scene is just brutal. I've been looking for an excuse to show Courtney that because she loves those types of movies and she hasn't seen it. And I know I'm like, I need to save that one because that's like a great movie.
It gets into everything. Like there's cannibalism, there's all kinds of stuff going on in it.
It's great.
And it's bloody and gory, but it's more of a thriller, I think, than a horror movie. It is a horror movie, but it's that thriller aspect and everything.
I don't know if I'd like it. I usually only watch movies that only have AC/DC as a soundtrack. So
if you want, you can just like get your Discman out and play Back in Black. Back in Black would play great with that movie.
It depends. Is it like 30-second Anti-Skip or is it like
so that one, like, I love that one. And then I watched 2 more movies just recently. I'm gonna time together. Alita: Battle Angel.
Okay,
I've been. That's the one I'm waiting to hear about.
And Crimes of Grindelwald.
hey, I'm halfway through Crimes.
Okay,
right
I've seen one of the 2.
Yeah, both of them to me are exactly what's wrong with blockbusters.
Really
cool, really neat.
Have you seen both of them too?
Yes, I have.
Story just
Like, we're gonna hear from
lost
both
me.
of you.
I just didn't care about the characters. I thought the acting was it's good, but
Yeah.
the script doesn't support the acting.
Definitely, I would definitely agree with you for Alita, and to some extent Harry Potter. But I'll get into that when it's my turn. But I do. Alita was a mixed bag for sure. Like some of the most beautiful visuals. The best actor on screen was like computer graphic.
Yeah.
Like that part was unreal. But it's like that's all they worried about. There was no like story that you cared about at all.
So I do watch some anime and stuff like that. I'm kind of thinking like if I would watch this as an anime, I'd probably actually like it a lot more than I did watching it as real, just in a movie. And
Just
I'm
didn't
trying
transition that.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what it is about me about that. Like I love Young Justice. I've been watching that and everything. And you know what?
Dragon Ball Evolution.
That is not a complex story. Alita is not a complex story, but I'm holding it to a higher standard.
Okay.
And I want it to be more, and I'm just like, okay, whatever, type thing. And that's the same like when I make that comment for Marvel.
Did you go with your son to Alita?
Yeah.
What did he think? Because he's quite a bit more of a typical from what you've told me.
Yeah. So my son's 16. He will watch, so I actually, starting at like age 7, I had him watching subtitled movies and things like that. So he'll watch them with me and that. But he tends not to want to watch all. Like I kind of like, oh hey, let's watch this. And the his idea of going to a film festival would be like, God no, I'm not. I can watch one movie and I'm done. And it's probably like attention deficit disorder with kids and that. But no, he is like, yeah, it was fine. It was okay.
So even he wasn't like blown
I
away.
know. I know people who are huge anime manga fans who fucking loved that movie, and like that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot, and like I'm someone who couldn't care less about that kind of stuff, and so I'm like, it's not for me. But I'm rooting for Rodriguez, and like even Cameron. Like Cameron's been breaking my heart for years now. But I've heard such mixed things. I've heard it's fucking terrible. Then I've heard it's like the best anime adaptation.
See, I think I'm at the point where with all these blockbusters, I'm more like I just want them to be something more. And I'm waiting
want to hold
for the
them to a higher
blockbusters
standard.
to have a
You
good
want
story.
like an Infinity War,
No,
like where it's perfect,
like I want
Space opera.
I want a really good story,
like an Infinity War.
Oh my God.
Infinity War is a great story.
It's fun. Like
It has a really good story.
Okay, compared to the rest, it's much better.
You probably don't like
But-
Black Panther. I don't.
Oh
need
no,
to
I
say
like
why.
the thing with them all is I go to them all. I've seen every single one,
Yeah.
and they're all fine. And then I walk away, and I could care less.
Did you grow up on comic books?
Yep.
Okay. So
And that probably older comic books.
Yeah.
And that I'm almost.
that's
50,
the thing is that
so,
some people it's just not for them.
Yeah, like
think-
I've always been in anime. I've always been into like all the cult movies, all the weird stuff out there, and trying to track it down, neat stuff, and now that that's kind of moved mainstream, that's cool. but I also think they've really weakened everything. And that with the stories and that. And I will go and I'll be like, yeah, that's a cool spectacle. And fine. And I'm done.
Yeah.
Where I don't think of, like, even like Infinity War, I walked away from it. And then like a week later, it's not on my mind.
That's because you don't have a heart, sir.
Well, you know what? I haven't even seen it, so I'll be on your side again. We'll cut the table in half.
And trust me, like, she is amazing. And the action is really good. I think that's another thing. I'm a big fan of actual action.
So we're going back to Alita now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm a big fan of actual action. When it gets into the CGI stuff, it loses me. I don't care as much.
Yeah,
I want
it's not a real world anymore. Yeah.
And I know she was doing some of that stuff. And whoever was playing that character while doing the martial arts and stuff was doing it. But it still just doesn't feel real. And that, like, give me the raid. And that. I want to see people get hurt. And that. So, yeah. That's... and then you guys do talk about video games. So the one other thing I've been doing is I've been playing a lot of Vampire on PS4.
So since our resident gamer guy isn't here, you're going to have to
I am now the resident gamer guy. I've wrapped 7 games in the last 2 months.
Have you
so
played?
I've dethroned Diego.
Was it Resident Evil on beginner 7 times?
Shut the fuck up. No, I literally right before you guys got here, I wrapped Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Nice.
So good. But
so have you played it?
Vampire?
Yeah.
No, but Diego has, and Diego really liked it.
It's the action's terrible.
Yeah,
and like the combat is not good. But the whole concept and the way it executes it is really cool. The basic idea of there's a limited population, and you're interacting with them, and as you help them finish stuff, solve stuff for them, they gain experience, and you can go through the whole thing without murdering any of them and taking their blood and stuff like that, embracing them. But if you do, you don't gain XP. You gain pretty much no XP from just fighting the grunts and that.
Yeah.
Interesting. So is it an open world kind of?
It's not really.
No? Okay.
But it's different areas of London, and you're traveling around, and you have
That's
so much. As you embrace someone, you get more powerful. It weakens and changes the area. So if you kill someone, a new monster might show up, or someone now reacts differently to you. Think like the plot changes and everything. It would be really cool if the combat was good, and if the grunts mattered, of having like it's a big impact on one of these 15, 20 people, that if you kill them, it's a big impact on you. The 500 or so other people I've murdered in fights don't matter in that. But
they're just the fodder of the game.
They're hunters. Yeah. They're hunting you, so who cares? It's creepy. It's disturbing. It's not scary, but just the whole emotional impact of it. And it tells a really, really good vampire story. Is it which?
Newer?
It's like a year old.
About a year.
Oh, okay.
They have it at High Tech for $20.
Yeah. It's worth checking out. Okay. Like I said, the fighting will frustrate you at times, and the graphics almost feel a little bit old too.
Okay.
But it's still there's another game, Life was Strange.
I've heard of that. Yeah,
it's that company.
Okay.
And everything.
So it's a smaller game.
Yeah, it's a smaller one, and it's cool.
Yeah. Cool.
That's it for you?
That's pretty much it.
Awesome.
Mike Fisher.
Nice. So the first thing I want to talk about real quick is my friend Lindsay in Calgary runs a podcast, or has a podcast called Weird, a podcast of curiosities. And it's true crime stuff, or ghost stuff, really fascinating. The last one is about a lady named Cindy James, who for 7 years after her divorce was tortured and stalked and sort of just, tortured for 7 years, and they, to this day, don't know who or why. People breaking into her house just to move stuff around, weird phone calls day and night. She would wake up randomly in a park with pantyhose tied around her neck and a pinprick, like a needle prick in her shoulder, but doctors wouldn't find any really random stuff. So that's really good. I don't want to say too much, but it's a really fascinating story.
So the podcast is called Weird?
Weird. Weird, a podcast of curiosities. And it's... I listened to it when I was falling asleep. I have a lot of trouble falling asleep, so I always listen to a podcast or something to kind of keep my mind
nice
busy.
And soothing about being attacked.
I don't know why. I woke up like how many times in the night thinking I was being broken.
You're like looking for needle marks.
Yeah, seriously, it was so weird. But I like being scared. But yeah, maybe not at 1 a.m. when I'm trying to fall asleep. But that's really good. For what I've been watching in the theaters, I saw Alita, and I agree with you. I think Mitch, when you say people say either love or hate it, it was both, like in the same movie. Some stuff was really fantastic and visually and sort of some good action. Other times it was like, are you going off a cliche checklist? Like just all the things that, and no, the story was really bad. But I still enjoyed it. I think the older I get, I'm realizing that I just can't overly be pleased in terms of original content, because I've seen so many movies that it's just sort of like I just want it to be done well, even if I've seen that before or that story before. Speaking of which, I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but I would love to start on March 1st and go to March 1st, 2020 and keep track. Because I want to know who would watch the most movies.
Mitch, 100%.
Because I say you, Mitch, right? Like,
I've already started a list.
You have, okay,
for this year,
starting January 1.
Yeah,
okay.
And so from January 1, I'm at 58.
Okay.
Well, Michael, may I call
Challenge
you?
accepted.
Yeah. Starting March 1st, I will do that with you.
Okay,
that sounds like fun.
But so how do you, Maximum Overdrive counts as 5 movies.
how do you track TV series? Do you like a season is, or do you?
I don't actually count TV series, so movies. I should start doing that.
Yeah, let's do both because
the thing is, like TV series, especially, let's say a TV series is 5,
right?
Because that's on average about 9 hours usually. Yeah, something like that, or we could say 4, 3, something like that.
Okay, let's do that. Okay. What else have I been watching? I know you wanted to talk about Dirty John, so I won't say too much. Other than that, I almost decided not to watch it because I listened to the podcast and it was very thorough. But I thought they did a really good job of recreating some of that and stuff I'd forgotten about, and really well acted. And I thought it was really good. Other than that, nothing really horror related.
What the fuck, Mike? We asked you to come on here, give you a week's notice.
I'm afraid to even say this, but like I just cannot get enough of Schitt's Creek on CBC, which is like I have such a bias against CBC comedies, but between Eugene and Dan Levy and Catherine O'Hara, it is the funniest show that I've seen in years. I watched it all through the 4 seasons.
Okay, The Office didn't go off air that long ago.
I've watched The Office too much.
Okay.
By the way, Dwight Schrute's going to be at the Calgary Expo. I thought that was...
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
I feel like Rainn Wilson's doing anything else.
Well, no, he's in the Meg. I've heard Rainn Wilson's a dick, but I still would like to meet him.
I've heard that too, yeah. But I watched it right through again, second time. But I've just been in the mood for comedy. You know, winter, I don't know. Sometimes horror makes me feel better when you feel...
Yo, man, I'm not going to judge you at all. I've been on a West Coast Customs phase lately, and I don't know why.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know why.
You got to go with it. If you
it's awful. This is not good for you. This is like eating pure fucking bacon fat.
Right.
Like there's nothing
clear,
good.
That's bad.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing good for your health about watching what. Like I think it's because I've been like so into like textbooks that I need to literally not think of anything.
Yes. Yeah.
And like I don't even like cars. So it's like why the fuck? There's literally nothing there for me. But me and Courtney, I think it's because we like laughing at the D-bags. Like, that, and like it's always so funny being like, man, like there's this one guy who's like the owner. He created monster cables, like the HDMI cords.
Oh yeah.
World's biggest nerd, and he wanted to turn his Austin, I think it was an Audi, into a Tron car.
Oh.
So like they fucking destroy this beautiful car.
Right, to make it.
So I'm just like, oh my god, people have too much money, and it makes me so mad, and I'm a glutton for punishment, so I keep watching it.
So other than like, do you and Courtney watch most things together?
Yeah,
like, she gets probably like 90%.
Man, I watch something that I'm like, there is no way she'll want to watch this, and she'll get mad at me. She's like, I wanted to watch that.
Right.
See, I've just given up. I don't watch anything with my wife.
No, you guys don't have the same taste, or it's just
no,
time
we actually have a very
or...
different taste.
Okay.
The one we're watching now is Star Trek Discovery. That's so that stuff I'll watch and everything.
Are you right cut up with Discovery?
Yeah,
it's really good, hey? The second season?
Yeah, it's better than...
Better.
Okay, so I guess I'm... With Star Trek, I've kind of got the point where I was just kind of like, I used to watch it so much that now I just have not much interest.
Right.
In that, but going back and watching this is actually like, or not even like watching it now, it's
different enough that it's... Yeah. And then I had a friend in over the weekend from Calgary who had never seen Cobra Kai, so we watched...
Oh my god, so good.
Yeah, so
good.
I'm excited for season 2 to...
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, that's about it, guys. I've been playing games and working on Expo stuff, so I haven't been watching as much. But I'm going to start tracking then March 1st?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
And I'll do a separate one with you guys for that.
Okay.
So,
but
I should interrupt. So when I go to Fantasia,
yeah,
last year within a week was 43 movies.
43?
Yeah.
How? Is that
that
many hours?
With you.
If there's even hours.
Was this like a speed binge or something?
Okay, so
did you watch them at 4 speed?
It's just over a week. It's 10 days. So I go to every movie. Like there's a few screenings every night. Go to those, and then for the film festival, I actually get into the screening room and I'm watching stuff by myself, and that. And on top of that, I'm still also going out to the bar and going to the wax museum. And
Jesus, you're going to be like Madonna. Just got those butt implants.
Well, this is why I burn out the rest of the year, because I hammered this stuff when we were at the festival.
And when does that happen? That festival?
Fantasia. I'm going July 12th, and it runs to August.
Where is Fantasia
2nd?
again?
Montreal.
Oh my God! In July.
Yeah, it's hot.
Yeah.
And everything. And it's only really bad when you get there and you find out that your Airbnb moved. And they're not living there at the same place, and they're actually living like.
I thought it was like a Winnebago. And it just
it's not in parking lot B now.
They never told me. I show up at the Airbnb, ringing the buzzer, and there's no answer and that. And so I'm finally calling them, and they're like, oh yeah, we had to move. The condo doesn't allow Airbnb anymore. We're at this new place. So I'm like, okay, fine. So they paid actually for me to go out there, which was like a 20-minute cab ride. And I'm like, I want to be by the theater where I can then walk to the bar.
Right. So they didn't want to lose your sale, but they were like, oh,
and so and Airbnb wasn't much help, but they actually did. The people actually found me a friend of theirs, and so I ended up paying like $100 extra, and then right back down by the theater. But it was like, July, no air conditioning, Montreal. It was not fun.
Yeah,
sorry, not to interrupt both of you, but since you guys are both here, and I have to ask, is there anything exciting coming for us? You guys are two festival heads here. Give us something.
I was just about to go there too. Yes. Let's answer John first.
Yeah, John, go ahead.
Okay. So we already announced a couple of them.
Okay.
We're bringing Drunken Cinema to Saskatoon. If you don't know what that is, a friend of mine who actually went to the Wax Museum with in Montreal, Serena, she runs this thing called Drunken Cinema, and what it is she makes it a party game of going to the movies and drinking. So that you get custom cards and you have to cheer your side, and it's all the stuff like right now. I think she what is the Eddie Vampire in Brooklyn?
Yeah, oh my God, fuck.
She's done Die Hard, like all these weird 80s
so
stuff.
she just makes like a drinking game out of it for the whole crowd.
For the whole crowd.
That sounds awesome.
Does she take suggestions?
We'll take suggestions.
Freddie got fingered.
I'll pick it up. So we have
Blue Crush 2.
I have no idea what it'll be yet. We're going to do it during the festival.
Okay.
It might happen before, might happen. It will probably definitely happen after.
Yeah.
But we're still working out the logistics.
That'll be fun.
That's coming. What else did I announce?
Movies announced.
No movies.
No?
Oh, well, okay, sorry. That's not totally true.
First of all, thank you for Lords of Chaos.
No problem.
I loved Lords of Chaos. So
okay, so that was one I watched. That was my first watch for it too.
Yeah.
I had not seen. We tried to program stuff we'd seen, but every so often it's stuff we can't see. And it was just fun. I thought it was overrated.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did.
And everything, but I did think it was a good movie.
Yeah.
I was expecting more violence.
Fuck, man.
Well, the build-up that I was getting from people.
Yeah.
So I was expecting a lot more violence, but the violence was done really well.
Yeah, very grounded.
I liked the way the kills at the end and stuff, and how it kind of took time. And I bet you I have no idea. That's probably what it is actually like when someone gets murdered.
Yeah.
It's not the.
I can tell you it's a little different, but it's. It's still, they did a pretty good job as far as it's not like Tarantino levels of blood flying out.
Yeah,
but then again, I usually have a pillow over their head.
Yeah, and I was really happy we did that. I was really happy we did Let the Corpses Tan.
I still haven't seen. I couldn't go. Tyler said it's his favorite movie of last year, so I want to watch that.
So coming up, the theater's already announced it. Climax is coming back.
Oh, okay.
And that for a run.
Great movie.
And that, so we're going to co-sponsor that. Birds of Paradise is coming. So this
is that
definitely
the Harley Quinn movie?
No, this is definitely out of the horror realm. And that it's a crime story in Colombia, and it gets into all the spirituality. It's by the director of Eyes of the Serpent. Is that what this is called?
Eyes on My Mother?
No.
How I Met Your Mother?
It's a black and white Colombian movie and everything. But this one is the whole Godfather. With small villages and everything down in Colombia, and it's really cool. And then they are doing one other one. Shoot, and I'm helping it. I can't remember what it is now.
If it comes back,
if
it comes back, it'll come back.
Cool.
Mike, speaking of drugs, I forgot. I watched Narcos finally. You guys see Narcos?
I think I'm the only one who's never seen Narcos.
I'm on season 2.
Okay. Yeah. It's hard to watch because you have to read. Like, I mean, I don't mind subtitles, but you can't be on your phone, so I can't, like, multitask.
That's what makes it so much better, too, is that you're paying attention
You're actually watching it.
So you're bringing the cast of Narcos is what you're saying.
Yes, that's my subtle way of saying that.
Have you guys seen this? Have you watched this?
Yeah. I can't say anything for guests yet.
That's fair.
They're mostly booked, but it'll be a good year. I'm excited for it. We're doing Regina in beginning of May, and so we've got I think 5 or 6 guests for that.
But you have someone announced for that, don't you?
Yeah, Supergirl. Laura Vandervoort is announced, and then we have someone this week coming up, and then a pretty big one in 2 weeks. That's the one I'm excited for. If you're a Trek fan, that's all I'll say. That's what I'm excited for. And then. Yes, the exciting thing for Saskatoon is we're working on some horror stuff because
that's what we were.
Yeah. Like the stuff that when we partnered with Calgary, that they never were into horror, so it wasn't ever an option. But this year we're really looking at some some interesting guests that way. So yeah,
so I can propose to Sydney Prescott there.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I'm working on. Oh yeah, I'm working. I'll be honest. I am working on that. She said no last year, but she was doing press for that. Fucking
the skyscraper.
Yeah, skyscraper movie.
She's in skyscraper.
Fuck off! You made the wrong choice.
Yeah,
you could have been in Saskatoon, lady.
Yeah. No, but yeah, it'll be a good year. I'm excited for it.
Awesome.
Yeah, with the whole Regina thing, I'm trying to set up a screening down there during the expo.
Oh, okay.
Just so that we can kind of, hey, Regina, we exist up here in Saskatoon.
Yes.
And you get a whole weekend of movies. And speaking of which, you have to come to my festival more.
I know. It hasn't worked out the last couple years.
Festival fight.
We saw the endless. We saw the endless with you.
Yeah, I came the year. Was that the year before last?
Yeah, that was the
you were there for the Zombie Les FMA, I think.
I was there for a couple of them.
No, I don't think I was there for that one.
I thought you were at Leah.
Oh my God, calm down,
you don't remember me
ladies.
there?
No, I would have said hi or something. Unless you were just like hiding in the
I
corner.
was in the back.
You were so stoned that you went to the wrong movie. You weren't even meaning to go to that movie, so you probably did not see him.
Yeah, but I was in front row and I had to shamefully walk by everyone.
You could have blindfolded Buzi with dental floss. Jesus.
Speaking of weed,
have you seen Weeds?
no, that's all I got, guys. That's
cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, we will keep in touch. As you announce like horror stuff, especially, we'll share that on our page.
Give us a sneak peek.
Tell me if you guys heard anything about that new Rabbit from those
Rabbit
sisters
with the Saska sisters.
Yeah, because that's what Laura Vandervoort is in. That we're excited to talk to her about.
Okay.
She's
That's what I've been hearing. I know there's no trailer or anything for it yet.
So when does that come out? Do you know? We're not sure yet.
Not sure.
Okay.
All I know is that it's a Cronenberg remake by the Saska sisters.
And those are the sisters you met in the airport?
Yeah, we met them in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're nice. I've met them.
Yeah. Are you guys going again?
Not this year.
Not this year?
No. 100% I will be buried there. So.
Right.
That's the plan, at least. Okay, well, Buzi, you want me to go or do you want to go?
You can go.
Okay, well, one thing I've only seen 2 things, and so me and Mike are going to double team this one, then me and you will double team the other one because I know you watched it as well.
Yep.
Let's start with Dirty John. So, like you were saying before, Dirty John, it's based on a podcast series through Wondery. It's starring Connie Britton, Friday Night Lights. Me and you love Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
And she is gorgeous.
Oh, man.
She's a great actress as well.
She's awesome.
Yeah, and Eric Bana from Hulk. Not Munich, Hulk. Juno Temple, who's she played Marin in Horns. If you've seen the Daniel Radcliffe Horns,
I couldn't place it. Okay, yeah,
sorry. Yeah. She looks quite different.
She does.
This,
yeah.
Julia Garner, who's in Ozark as well. She looks incredibly different in the show as well.
Yeah.
Shea Wiggum from Splinter, which we talked about last week. He's in the show as well. He plays Eric Bana's dad in flashbacks. But
are they that far apart in age?
No, it's flashbacks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So and like Shea Wiggum's probably younger than Eric Bana.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I could be
He's
wrong.
fantastic though. Hey,
he's
been
so
in
good.
A ton of stuff.
Agent Carter, he was awesome.
Yeah. Boardwalk Empire. He's always good.
Yeah, he is great. But yeah, the podcast was phenomenal. I've talked about it on the show before. The story is truly insane, and it's basically like a real life daytime soap opera. So that's things you got to be prepared for a lot of drama. It is centered around a woman who, if you haven't listened to the podcast yet, I say listen to the podcast. I would choose the podcast over the show.
Yeah.
I didn't hate the show, but it definitely, you can feel that it was a little hard for them to. I think they did a good job with what they were given, with what they know. They had to, like, for the most part, it's one of those situations where, and it's funny that John's here for this one as well, but I kind of compare it to Abducted in Plain Sight, which is a show that, like, or a documentary now that you brought through the festival, and now the whole world's seeing it because of Netflix, and it's created memes, it's created outrage, everyone.
I'm waiting till we get to the news part because I got a little bit of news about that thing.
Okay.
You might be
You want to talk about some sweet relief?
But like that's the thing is, have you seen Abducted?
Yeah.
So, but that's a documentary that people are all like. A lot of people seem to hate it because they get frustrated watching it and think these people are so stupid. And I'm not going to keep on defending them because there is a little bit of stupidity there. But the thing is, I think there's a lot to like a correlation between this and Dirty John, because Dirty John, these people don't make the best decisions all the time. And you have to kind of go along with the fact that not everyone's going to make the same like choices that you make. And there's characters who are continuously making poor choices, and you're like, "Okay, this would not happen. This is bullshit. This didn't happen." It did.
Except that it did. Yeah. And Connie Britton did a really good job of humanizing her in terms of
I think so too.
Understanding. Yeah. And I will say about Abducted, I grew up in church, and they were Mormons, right?
Yeah,
and
I think so.
Remember that because when the dad gave him a handy, and I think they were at a Mormon retreat or something.
Yeah.
There is a very there's a lot of open trust in church circles, and a lot of everything survives under this weird veneer of politeness.
Yeah.
So the most important thing is getting along with everybody and sort of being acceptable to everybody. So that stuff just festers there because it's like, oh, I don't want to be the guy that like called somebody out or caused problems. And it was like, don't get me wrong, it was still incredibly.
It's an impossibly uncomfortable situation that you physically cannot say what you would. Yes, I can say that I wouldn't have done it, but I just think that it's a lot easier to just say like call people stupid when you don't know. It was a completely different time.
It's the only way to live. Like if you have to call that stuff out.
No, they didn't even know what the word pedophile wasn't a word back then for that like around them. Like, they had no idea what was happening.
Are you telling me that if I needed sweet relief and I came to you in my
Buzi,
time of need,
I've told you that you wouldn't even need to ask. You wouldn't need to ask.
It's on site. Okay, sorry.
But no, like, and that's actually, you bring up the religious thing, and like that plays a little bit of a role in Dear John as well, where it's like there's some religious elements where people are raised to forgive, and I think that they're scared of not forgiving because they're trying to live a religious life, and I don't know, like there's a lot of those kinds of questions are going to be raised there. But what's important or not is, did it work as a show?
Right.
My mom was obsessed with it. My mom loved it. Courtney loved it. I think that there's a lot of people who are going to really love this.
I think so.
But I think the like hardcore film, like I can pretty much guarantee that John would not necessarily love Dirty John.
And I was
we're trying to figure you out. We're not saying like this isn't for you.
I'm not trying to actually pick. I don't mean that to pick on you, but I'm just saying like people who are very like people who watch a lot of stuff and a lot of variety. It's kind of like I'm going to bring this up again later on. We're all fucking up on talking about Maximum Overdrive, but I feel like AC/DC is for people who haven't listened to a lot of music before,
right?
And that's kind of what Dirty John is kind of like. It's a very accessible, like this could easily be on the W network or whatever, or A&E and something like that. But it's stuff that even like in the editing and the way that it's shot, you're going to be like, this is cheap, like this is garbage to some people. But the thing is, it's a crazy story, and they had a lot of talent behind it.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for Eric and Connie sort of elevating those characters to like a really believable, especially Eric, well, he was great. But what a fun role to play, right? Where you're like charming one minute. I don't want to say too much.
I play that role every day.
Yeah, you're like literally that's like
I am him.
But my favorite part of it, and I guess I can't really say this without saying what it's about, but when does being sweet, kind, generous cross into stupidity?
Exactly.
Like, where's your boundary, right? In terms of like if somebody's taking advantage of you.
That's the whole question of the show.
Yeah,
I think that's the whole purpose of the show, and like that's even why, because it's all based on a true story. That is why the real Deborah Meehan like came out and said that they even include that in the show, that she wanted to like educate people on the fact that this kind of stuff happens to people. But it's just like, man, goddamn, is it? So I lived through that podcast, and the podcast was phenomenal. And then I just lived through it again through the show. And I'm just like, goddamn, it is nuts. But
what I wanted to know was where they all are now, or how their relationship is, based on what the choice the mother made. But even the family was conflicted about being involved with the Netflix show.
The main two people are very involved,
right? Because she's like, if they're gonna do it without us, so we might as well be involved and tell them how it went and make it as accurate as possible. So they
made it very accurate. The thing is that there's certain, like, that's where they even say, of course, any kind of adaptation like that or inspired by true events, there's going to be some stuff that's fictionalized. There's just some really important, crucial moments that they have to fictionalize because no one was there,
right?
Like, so that's where I'm kind of like, it feels like at times it felt rushed, and at times it felt like a little over the top, like with him being a little creepy stalker and stuff like that.
Yeah, like they could have done it in 6.
Yeah,
I think. But,
But so it's not perfect, but it is on Netflix. If you are a Netflix subscriber and you tend to like drama, and so like the reason I'm mentioning it too is because it is terrifying that this actually happened and that it does happen, and I think that a lot of people who listen probably would get some enjoyment out of it. So
I think so.
There's that. Buzi, do you want to double team this last one?
Sure.
So on Valentine's Day, Courtney said she didn't want anything. We both said, I know that that's a trap for everyone, that if their girlfriend, wife says they don't want anything for Valentine's Day, that means 100% they want something. Courtney 100% doesn't actually want anything ever, but and she made me promise I wouldn't get her flowers. So instead of getting her flowers, I got her the Blu-ray copy of Valentine from Scream Factory.
Thanks for that.
What?
There was 2 ordered in town. There was one at each Sunrise. So I went to one in hopes that maybe they had one kicking around the back, and this guy, he was talking, he's like, oh yeah, somebody had pre-ordered that, so it was for them right as soon as they got there. That wasn't you, though.
No.
So I was like,
the other guy who got it is a guy who fucking hates that movie. How good does that make you feel?
I'm just like, who is this other person who pre-ordered it? Like, I would have done this.
No, there's no, I can't believe that person exists.
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy. Okay, so first of all, do you guys know what Valentine is?
No.
Okay, like, do you know Valentine? No. Jamie Blanks. It's a Jamie Blanks movie, director of Urban Legend and Valentine. Came out in 2002, I believe.
All-star cast. 2001.
Yeah, okay. Who do we got here? We got... actually, I have it pulled up. Just 1 second. So we got
the cast is outstanding.
So we got Katherine Heigl. We got
a very young Katherine
David Boreanaz. We got Denise Richards.
What the?
Yeah, it's man. You have 100% seen the. I'm trying to pull it up here because
I might have.
It's a slasher movie.
Oh, I've seen the. I haven't seen it, but I've seen.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah, so
it's one of those ones. Okay, so these are the ones I skip.
Yeah, it's
like every single one of them.
All right, this table's been divided again.
Amen, brother. Amen. Okay, but here's the thing. So yeah, like this is that it falls into that category of like the Scream ripoffs, and like it came out. The only reason this movie exists is because Scream was such a hit. Same with Urban Legend. Same with I Know What You Did Last Summer, Cherry Falls, like all those kinds of movies. There's countless ones of them. But this one was one that I saw as a kid, and I liked it because I thought Denise Richards was very attractive. And then I saw it as an adult we did a Valentine's Day episode, and I told the guys, I'm like, I almost couldn't make it through it. Like I hated it so much. And then I watched it again after, because I know Buzi is a fan of this movie, and I had some fun with it. It is a bad movie, but I can have some fun with it. But it's like it's near the bottom for Scream ripoffs for me. Like Urban Legend is better, Cherry Falls is better, I Know What You Did Last Summer is better. And that's saying something. I'm saying that those movies are better than something. I'll talk and then you can talk because but like this, I don't know. I feel like it's of that time, especially where like everyone was cast as like, I'm a teenager, but they're like full grown men with beards. Like this was in college, I believe.
Yeah, they're also supposed to be like 20.
But even
around
so,
there.
what's up with David Boreanaz and always looking 10 years older than everyone, no matter what he does?
Yeah,
but he's aged very well though.
And I talk about this. It's actually worrisome how much I talk about this on the Terror Table. But is David Boreanaz hot? No.
Oh, I was about to say, is David Boreanaz circumcised? That's right. I knew you were going for that.
I guarantee he
wasn't. Swerved it.
I guarantee he wasn't. But no, I don't know. I don't get David Boreanaz. Like he was angel. Like I guess it was. But I also was like a child in the 90s.
I feel like he's the kind of guy that like girls who are really interested in guys that are like their dads. Like he's
dad problems.
Yeah, like he's the demographic for that.
Yeah,
they need a strong male figure, and he's that. He's nothing like he's not the bad boy. He's not the extremely good looking guy.
Yeah,
he's just he's there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, but then he's like with. I'm not even going to get into that. I figured out what I hate about these movies. I've finally been trying to find out what is it that bothers me so much about these movies, because this movie, like some movies that I love, are just as guilty for everything that I hate about this movie. Friday the 13th, Prom Night, like pretty much you can put any slasher from the 80s in here, and they all follow the same tropes as this one does. So why do I not accept this, but I accept all of those? And this is where I'm kind of like debating with myself and Buzi, because I know Buzi is a fan. I'm like, why can't I let it go? And I figured out it's MTV. MTV ruined everything because those slashers they were kind of created with, yes, they just wanted money, but they still had some kind of heart in them because they were trying to make something cool. Whereas these movies were just like, how can we sell as much of this as possible? We're gonna put Limp Bizkit in this motherfucker. We're gonna put Korn in this motherfucker. And it's just like, and they turn into like a music video, and like this, it's a glorified music video. But yeah, they have everything from what was it? Deftones is in the soundtrack, which is great. I love that song.
Static X.
Yeah, then it goes into Static X.
Disturbed, I believe.
Yes, Disturbed. That's what I was going with. I'm like, you go from like, I'm just happy to know that Deftones made it out alive. But yeah, I don't know. I just Courtney loved it. Buzi and Courtney like the same kind of movies. It's very dumb, it's very silly, but it's enjoyable if you do not take it seriously at all, and I still have trouble not taking it totally seriously sometimes. So Buzi, what did you think upon, is this your second watch or third watch?
Third watch, I think now.
So you found a copy somewhere?
I own it, actually.
Oh, you own it.
He owns on DVD.
I own one of the,
poor.
you know those original ones where there's that plastic side piece and you have to clip it? Do you know what I'm talking about?
The cardboard ones?
Yeah, like this is the first pressing in this movie, and
Right.
I this is the first time I've watched my copy of it, and what I found out is that it's region locked, so I had to switch my PS4 over to the UK because of the UK version. I did not realize this.
Yeah, because Buzi's so new to collecting and everything, and I love that about you, but like, he doesn't realize how easy Amazon is to work, but he orders off of eBay, and I'm like, man, you're paying more money.
Why are you laughing? What's wrong with eBay?
But eBay,
Fuck you.
like,
Sorry.
I just
eBay.
I just
Your fat guy impression holds his belly. Hey, eBay is good for stuff that you can't find on Amazon.
yeah.
Okay, I'm not an Amazon. I never
You
had.
got-
Actually, to be fair, Amazon's pretty shitty too. Well, it depends what it is.
They
If
sold them out.
if it can't be wrecked by getting thrown in a box and
Yeah.
shipped.
Okay, I'm not talking about, say, even secondhand stuff, like even brand new stuff from
yeah, yeah.
Amazon. Like, I've got Valentine. You could have it here Thursday on Blu-ray, and you'll pay less than you would have at Sunrise.
I'm just saying. I paid $3 for my DVD.
I just
copy.
picture you like my dad when he has to like push his glasses up by a computer, and he like, what's that called when he pokes the keyboard?
Singular
chicken
Two finger.
Chicken fingers?
Two finger typing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Buzi searching up stuff on eBay.
Valentine movie.
David Boreanaz flashlight. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, this is my first time watching my copy, and it was on Valentine's Day, which is appropriate. Upon rewatching it again, I really like this movie, and I knew that. Yeah, I'm not trying to be a contrarian because I would have said that whether you went first or I went first.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that as far as making a lore for a killer, giving it a unique look and kind of a motive and everything, I think they did a fine enough job. It didn't feel to the point where like they were sticking to the fact that it's a Valentine movie. They didn't Valentine's Day movie. They didn't go all over the board with it, or you know, it was fairly straightforward. It knew what it wanted to be. Like, what do you expect from a slasher movie about Valentine's Day?
I agree with you, and I'm the dummy here.
Yeah. So you know what I
agree.
mean? Like, I think you're being a little critical on it. I will say, as far as Jamie Blank's movies go, because I have seen a couple now, this is his most violent one. If you even think back to Urban Legend, a lot of stuff that happened in that movie was, some of it was implied violence, or they didn't really show that much. Like, this movie was all out. I mean, the kill with the girl with the glass pane, where he just shoves her head through there, or
I did like the Killer's Mask, which is very similar to the Happy Death Day.
yeah, he has his own little ticks, like, you know, his nosebleeds and everything.
My God, man! Like, we were hysterically laughing at the end frame of this movie.
Yeah,
because it's intentionally corny. But
yeah,
this movie was made to get teenagers' butts in the theater.
Yeah, and then it does kind of have that weird early 2000s stink on it, where like they're at a party, this crazy house party's going on, and they're playing Love Dump by Static X.
Yeah,
and I'm like, who is dancing to this?
There's
Why is this
for sure someone in the corner on ICQ?
Yeah, and then
it's
ordering off eBay.
Yeah, it's so 2002 ordering off eBay.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry,
guys.
Buzi.
And then when they go to the art exhibit, where it's such a late 90s, early 2000s thing, where it's all these mouths and videos of people talking, and they're going through and watching this.
Yeah,
and then which is my favorite part of
Marilyn Manson-ish.
Yeah,
Marilyn
and which is
Manson.
my favorite part of the movie is they're walking through this and it's playing RX Queen by Deftones, which is like a great Deftones song.
Yeah.
And it fits the mood really perfectly. And I know I guess I'm delving too deep into a Jamie Blank's movie, but I really enjoyed it.
No, that's good. But let's just talk one last thing about like the best part about these shitty slashers is their reasonings for being killed. like Denise Richards, I'm going to spoil this for you guys right now.
Sorry.
So yeah, I'm sorry about this, but like at a huge house party, and she's in the hot tub by herself.
It's because she had a sexual advance by a creepy guy, and
she's like, I'm gonna go in the hot tub.
Yeah, she gives him his
clothes.
Yeah, she gives him his comeuppance, and then is like, yeah, I'm just gonna go hot tubbing. And later on, they do have a throwaway line where it's like, yeah, sometimes at parties she just wanders away to hot tubs.
That's what I'm talking about. It's just like, where's I can't remember her name. I'm gonna just say, where's Denise? And then she's like, oh, she likes going in the hot tub at parties. It's like, but. What?
So yeah, she goes and hangs out by herself in a hot tub.
Just try. Like that's what, like when I hear you getting so critical of like Avengers and stuff like that, I'm just like, God damn it! Like this is the stuff that fucking makes my head explode.
I gotta see it now, though.
I've been thinking the reason I don't watch any of these and haven't ever watched them because I am almost 50 and I was out of that teenage age when all these things were hitting.
Yeah.
And
I
have like no interest at all in seeing any of them. Like I think I saw. Like I did see I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
Scream, of course.
Scream's great.
Yeah, but all the rest were just like, oh yeah, it's just another ripoff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, and it's a bunch of teenagers or older looking teenagers.
Yeah, and you're
getting
just like,
on each other.
Darn
and
kids.
It's getting kind of killed, but not really showing it half the time because they're making it for teenagers.
Yeah, and they're like,
PG,
maybe
PG-13.
he's the killer.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, just
the whodunit.
Stop it.
Yeah. Sorry, question for the dinosaurs. Did you see like? Because I think you told me before that you were never really into horror movies or like violence when you were a kid. Like were you like, was that you like kind of squeamish with violence? Like, did you see Friday the 13th in theaters? Like any of them?
In theater, no. But I saw them all.
Okay.
And that I had a tendency, and I still do it once every so often, of turning the volume off when watching a horror movie.
Cheater.
I know it is. It's well. Okay. So,
I hope you didn't do that for Hereditary.
No, no, because I think it's more scary, not without the volume on, but the scares that really get me are the ones inside when you see the woman behind her. There's no jump, there's no nothing. It's just she's behind her, and you're like, oh, okay, that freaks me out.
Shout out to a movie that you brought here. Satan's Slaves does everything you're describing.
Absentia.
Yeah.
There's a scene when they open the door and he's behind the door, or whatever it is.
We can't talk about Absentia. I'm mortal enemies with Mike Flanagan now. So.
I was listening last but yeah, like that's the stuff that gets me, and I find all that other stuff cheap. So that's why because a jump scare. And that's why when when I was here last time, you were talking about the Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
That's why I have no interest in that.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's just a cheap. Oh look, they're gonna blare. They're gonna jump out and blare noise at me, and I'm like, whatever, I can.
Yeah, and I agree with like jump scares in movies and stuff like that getting a little bit old, but the reason why I like the real stuff is because you're still, yes, it is cheap. It's very, very cheap. It's the definition of that, but you're surrounded by it, which is why I love the haunts.
I wish I could. I probably look it up. The Robin Williams movie where it's in Jamaica. Is it Club Paradise or whatever or something?
Club Dread? No.
I was supposed to go to Friday the 13th, whichever year that was, but the people I were with, they weren't relatives, and so the theater wouldn't let us in, and that. So we ended up having to go watch the Robin Williams movie. And that. So I don't even know which Friday the 13th.
Do you remember if it was
Flubber.
good?
The Robin Williams one? Oh, at the time.
Jumanji?
No. Robin Williams, he's a fireman who he basically decides to retire and he goes down to Jamaica and lives in Jamaica.
The Fisher King, Dead Again, Shakes the Clown. No, it's got to be.
Drive by Fruiting.
It's Drive by Fruiting.
It has to come up.
It's got a Club Paradise.
Yeah, it is Club Paradise. So whatever year that is, Friday the 13th is that year.
Okay,
because that is the last one I would have remembered actually trying to get to the theater.
Did you grow up here?
Yeah.
So where was that? Which theater?
Oh well, that was actually on. Well, it was on, the reason I couldn't go in because we were on vacation out in Victoria.
Right, you said. Right.
It would have been Jason Lives, which is debatably the best Friday too.
No, it would no.
Yeah, it would. 1986.
Holy
same
shit,
year.
okay,
Friday 13th Part
same
6.
Year
Jason
as
Lives.
Maximum Overdrive.
Yes.
Okay. So
it all comes around.
Two quick things. I already forgot one of them.
Okay, one quick thing.
One quick thing. Where would you? It just reminded me because you're talking about Valentine and Dirty John. If someone came to you and said, "I'm going to slice you," like not stab, but slice you on one body part in your body, and you can choose, what would you choose?
Ooh, so I can
round table.
I want the Kylo Ren across the face bad boy look.
That's a good one.
How deep?
Like you'd have a scar, but you wouldn't be at risk of like bleeding out.
Yeah, 100% Kylo Ren.
So just what about shoulder?
You could have like obviously I don't have foreskin, so not my dick. Maybe like and the throat would be badass.
Yeah,
I could survive with a throat cut.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I've been in bars
no,
before.
This is his rules. This is so he can do whatever the fuck.
Yeah, you survive.
This is his survive.
Because I can say I've been in bars before where I've seen guys with knife like scars on their neck, and I'm like, I'm gonna stay away from that guy.
Oh yeah, like no question.
Yeah, maybe the throat.
Okay, I haven't decided for myself, but one thing, the last place that I would choose, and this is, I don't want to say what happens in Dirty John, but on your forearm, like that is I don't know why, but that's the freakiest. Like, doesn't that freak you guys out to have on your arm?
Maybe it's kind of like a little phobia for you, kind of like how the elbows bother people.
I think it's just so vulnerable, or like I don't know. Don't you think? No, maybe I'm alone in that.
This is so like anticlimactic.
That would be my like probably second choice.
Really? Like, whenever they do that in movies,
it's
like fingers on a chalkboard, or when someone like it gives me those chills.
It's like the Achilles for a lot of people.
I don't know why.
Not their forearm.
So I'm alone in that, I guess.
Forearmophobia.
John, how about you?
Like I said, you said shoulder.
Just shoulder?
Although that is totally fine.
Yeah, I don't understand this.
Okay,
if
there's a listener out there,
maybe we'll all change our pick.
Oh yeah, I remember the second thing. This is really so. The lady that I'll be quick. The lady that runs breakout escape rooms in town. She travels all over the world, going to horror like haunted houses and horror nights and stuff. And she says nothing scares her, so she just goes to kind of research. So I want to ask you guys, the two that stood out to her the most at the last place she went to, I think it was New York, was there was fog up to your waist. And then they had a laser that was waist level shining across the fog, so you couldn't see below the fog. Oh. And then they had a girl dressed like the girl from The Ring that would crawl down there and randomly pop up. That wouldn't really scare me. I just would be more like
annoyed.
How'd they do that? How'd they make it so you couldn't see below the fog? And then the other one was two huge black kind of like airbags, I guess, that were like meeting in the middle, and you had to go probably 200 yards through these bags that you could barely fit through. Pitch black. The bags are black.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate that.
Yes,
the claustrophobia.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm claustrophobic. So
yes, and there's no light at the end. Like you don't know when you're.
No, that would drive me nuts.
Yeah, that's like a mindfuck with like disorientation and everything. Yeah,
I like that kind of scare. Well, I mean, I like all kinds of being scared, but I like that sort of like. Every day, it just fucks with you. Just
yeah, like it's kind of like a Twilight Zone-ish thing.
Yeah,
like they have I think it's season 2 of Channel Zero. Have you heard about Channel Zero? No. It's a really good horror show. But the second season, I believe it's called No End House, and they go into the haunted house, and then it's basically just they're living there kind of forever now.
Oh yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
It's like everyone's gone, but they're just like kind of in like their same suburban streets, and there's like but they're all copies of people, and they're like evil versions of themselves.
When you're saying like the mundane things that would scare you in a haunted house, I just imagine you going through one where it's like, "Where's your keys?"
Yeah,
like, oh shit!
This is the tax return room. Yeah. So, are we on board with Jordan Peele for Twilight Zone?
I am 100%.
Yeah, me too.
I'm indifferent.
You don't care?
No.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
After watching Get Out,
Yes. And I can't wait for us.
Us in March. Yeah.
I will remind everyone, I'm still doing what I've watched.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. I want to ask you guys if you've seen a couple things. So.
Sorry.
I'll finish this last one, then we can go from there. I watched this movie called Cold Ground. It is a found footage film from 2017. It's not really well known. The description is 2 journalists visit the French-Swiss border to investigate a series of cattle mutilations for a TV show, but they discover that something ungodly has been in the Alps for centuries.
You say cattle
mutilations?
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Amazing cover.
Honestly, that's the reason I watched it, is because I saw that artwork and I was like, that's fantastic.
Just looks like a great throwback.
Nothing like that.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
No,
it was one we had. Well, I'm not going to talk about festival movies that we passed on. But like it was fine. But it was something that was just kind of like, yeah.
And that's the thing is I was thinking about after is I can tell that whoever made this, God hope that they never hear this, but like I'm assuming that everybody involved put in a lot of work, and it's all shot in the middle of winter. It's these people are out in like rough conditions, and I want to give them credit for doing all that. It's when it comes to the scares and the I don't want to give too much away, but the quote-unquote creatures that are out there is when it just falls apart completely. They had some really good ideas, and it did kind of have like a little bit of that Blair Witch feel for a while, and I don't want to put those together because they're on way different levels, but they had like kind of a good thing going, a good background idea, and then once things started falling apart, it looked kind of like if you and your friends bought a costume and went out in the woods and would just chase each other and the lights would randomly turn on. So it was a little bit of a bummer. And yeah, that's the reason I was drawn into watching it, is because of that cover. It was definitely like an 80s throwback kind of thing. I was like, this is really well detailed. It's like, okay, they did probably spend a lot of money to get that made. Yeah. And yeah, that's all I have seen.
It's a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
So no one's seen Happy Death Day again or whatever?
We were going to, but then we've been in a 90s crime thriller mood.
So did you have another question?
I wanted to ask you guys, have you seen these are two I watched recently. I forgot about Preacher. I've been watching that.
The TV show?
Yeah.
I've seen the first half of the first season.
Yeah, if it's a TV show, I probably haven't seen it.
Okay, really fun.
You like it?
The comic's better, of course, but it is so much fun.
I really want to try again.
It's actually much darker than the comic.
What is it about?
Basically, there's a small town Baptist preacher type guy who gets basically the word of God. And whatever he says, people have to do. And God has basically gone on vacation. And
so is this a comedy?
And he is pissed. It's Seth Rogen is one of the producers.
But it's a brutal comic book series, like Garth Ennis.
It's a nasty.
You've read all Preacher, hey?
It sounds like a setup for like a Bruce Almighty movie.
No, this is very dark and very bitter at times and nasty and cynical. It's fun, and he's basically decided he's going to find God and make him either come back or kick his ass. And there's this whole hidden group who's actually has their Messiah, and they're trying to basically cause the end of the world, and they're going to have the Messiah come in and take over. And one of them is kind of trying to rebel against them within the group, and he wants the preacher to be the next Messiah. So he's kind of playing this game. It's really cool.
The more things you're saying, you're saying it's a straightforward thing, I'm going like, this sounds like a comedy. Like this is all the making.
There's funny things in it.
There's a ton of black comedy.
But one of the characters' name is Arseface, and he literally has a butthole for a face.
That's what I was going to say. If you want to sum up the series, this guy tried to kill himself. It didn't work, and now his face looks like an asshole.
So it is dark.
He's been traveling around with Hitler.
The books are very twisted.
You guys keep saying it's not a comedy, but like it just
it's a black comedy.
Andy from Erie has Preacher tattoos.
Really?
Yeah. Preacher is a big deal. I love Preacher.
Yeah, and another one I want to ask: did you guys see the Terror?
No, I watched the first episode. But
I did see 2 episodes, and I really enjoyed it.
Really good whole series.
Yeah,
and they're coming back for a season.
They are
2,
coming back
in World War II or whatever. Now.
Yeah, it seems like such a cool story. I didn't get to see all of it, and I really regret it because it was, from what I watched, it was so up my alley, and it seems like a really good show.
It really does.
Did it end off that season on a good note?
Yeah, I think it did.
Yeah. Okay.
What's the premise?
Basically, they're crossing. It's back when they were trying to find a passage to India or China. And
pirates. You'd like it.
Not pirates.
Kind of.
Sort of.
Basically, British
They're
Empire.
on a boat.
British Empire, and it's 2 ships trying to cross the northern passage. They get frozen in. When they're there, they screw up somehow, and they get a monster basically going after them. And everything, and it's the whole. Just them collapsing on each other. And
that one's is that produced or directed by Ridley Scott?
I think it's produced.
I think he didn't direct anything. Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah,
because I know he had that was kind of like their big tagline is like Ridley Scott, the Terror.
Yeah,
but no, watch Preacher.
Okay, no, I'm interested to see Assface.
Yeah. Terror is really good. Preacher is like so much fun.
Okay,
but that's so. When I talk about all these comedies and things I don't like, I love the dark, nasty stuff comedies. That's the comedies I like. All these other ones which don't have that nastiness to them, I'm like,
whatever. So you love our raunchy humor?
Not
no, yes, no. You can say no.
No, it's not the raunchiness. It's the bitter, cynical, nasty, dark humor. And that.
Which is why it does blow my mind that you actually listen to the podcast. Like when I say Lord Scaff, you're like, I've been listening to the podcast. I'm like, what? Why are you doing that to yourself?
Oh no, it's fun.
I just you were talking about how you don't like frat boy humor. It's like we are the lowest grade.
I think the difference is I don't like scripted frat boy humor.
Yeah,
off the cuff.
If it's just people bullshitting and stuff.
We're idiots. Cool. Do you guys want to get into some news?
Sure.
All right, so we'll be back with Mitch's news.
Mitch's news this week.
Hello, welcome to news. I can't do a voice.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know.
Hello.
I do not know. Okay, well, I'm taking over news this week, and I got some good stuff, and I got some smaller stuff, but I'm just going to start off with Overlord is now available on Blu-ray and DVD as of today. So if you were one of the idiots that missed that in the theater, no, the movie bombed, like, real bad.
Yeah,
so,
unfortunately.
and I hope that
not
this
because
is...
of its quality.
Absolutely not because of its quality, because that's what I'm just... The reason... I don't always say, like, oh, Suspiria's out on Blu-ray today, but, like... I feel like Overlord needs another shout out, and people need to be checking Overlord out, and hopefully it finds some legs on Blu-ray, because I can't wait to watch it again. Picked it up today. Second of all, I got Army of Darkness hit theaters on this day in 1993. So
Cool.
I was 3 years old, and I did not know that was going to play such a huge part of my life. But Army of Darkness.
I was about to graduate from high school, just for reference between you and me.
That
Mitch.
is crazy. So you graduated in 93 or 94?
93.
I was in my third year of university.
Oh, so that makes me feel a little bit better.
Yep.
Did either of you guys, because you guys both are rocking the clean cuts right now, did either of you guys have the mullet?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I had like hockey hair when I played hockey for.
Oh, yeah?
Time. Yeah.
Okay.
If you guys could send those in, we would love to
Yeah.
post them.
Like, did you look like anyone from Saved by the Bell at any point? Was that a real thing? Actually, I know that's a real thing. Cause I had sisters.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
It was a real thing. I don't know what I was going for. I was mostly a skater, dirtbag in high school.
Oh, me neither. That's why we get along so well.
Yeah.
I couldn't skate, but I was very good at the pot smoking. So, all right. So next up we have Laid to Rest 3 Exhumed is coming, and you can get brutally killed in the movie. That comes from an article by John Squires over at Bloody Disgusting. Here's a little excerpt that I took from it. From simple pins and shirts to screen use masks, film slates, cameos, or even die by Chrome Skull's knife. If you are a horror fan, you can't afford to miss out on this. All funds go toward director/FX guru Robert Hall's stellar practical effects magic that made the other two films' what the fuck moments so memorable. Huge horror fan here, host a horror podcast. What the fuck is Laid to Rest?
I talked about this before and you didn't listen.
Okay.
Because I kept mixing it.
Maybe I just heard the riffs from Lamb of God.
You mixed it up because I was talking. Someone was talking about the collection or the collector, and I was like, this is another kind of semi-main villain kind of person. It was the skull or Chrome Skull from.
So you guys both know about this?
Yep. You actually sent me the link for that, and I was so confused that you said it because I was like, this doesn't seem like it'd be your thing, and I love Laid to Rest.
So just because I don't watch these things, I followed the stuff and I try to keep up on what's new and what's happening because that way I can program. Because when we do program the festival,
you got to be hip.
I know it's not that. I do program for stuff we like.
Yeah,
but it also we want to program for stuff everyone will want to see, and if something is important in the industry. Now, I don't think this is important, but if something is important, we should be playing it. Mm-hmm.
So you don't like Laid to Rest?
I saw the first one or the second one at Dead Fest out in Edmonton, and it was fine.
There's a movie. I think it was made by an Edmonton filmmaker, Knuckleball.
Yep.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Apparently it's fucking awesome, but I've heard it's great. A friend, Alexis, who's now living in Japan, saw that movie at that festival. Who's that?
I'm trying to... So I have
Michael Ironside.
Yeah, Michael Ironside.
Yeah,
so I always I have to watch these things because like just because we pass on a movie doesn't mean we didn't like it.
Yeah.
And things like that.
Just means a couple of you didn't like it.
Or there's just... we're dealing with 100 movies. There's a lot we see that we like and that. And generally it was well received amongst us. It just didn't make it in. Oh, okay. And so it was good. Like,
cool.
It was a fun
I'm looking forward to it. Would I like Laid to Rest? It sounds like it's something I'd like. Is it like a Hatchet type thing?
Yeah, it's like a fun little slasher.
Lots of blood, lots of guts.
Yeah, lots of...
It blows my mind that I've never even heard of it.
It's kind of that 80s throwback, honestly, where they made this gruesome character and he just, you don't care too much about the plot. It's more about,
it's the kills.
It shows that the director is like an FX guy.
Yeah,
so, like,
and they do really good, and I think the Chrome Skull or whatever his name is a really cool character, and he has a good look to him. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I have one last thing for news, and I'm going to pass off to you guys if anyone else has anything.
I think somebody said they did.
Yeah, but this one is going to be a little discussion piece for people who care if you want to partake in this. But just today, Blumhouse has been in talks with Miramax about rebooting Scream and Hellraiser. So with that being said, after reading the full article, this is 100% like borderline clickbait, but it's going around everywhere because it's like, yes, they've talked to them about it, but nothing has happened yet, and like they have no plans to. But like Jason Blum would like to do something like this. That's the extent of where we are at right now. But they have still had the conversation, so it's something worth talking about as horror fans. Huge fan of Scream and Hellraiser here. I personally feel like Hellraiser is more ripe for a remake or a reboot of some sort. Even though they're still making Hellraiser movies now, like it's no secret that Hellraiser has like plummeted after, I would say, quality even the second one.
Yes.
Yeah, like they're debatably, as a big fan of Hellraiser, that just means I really like Hellraiser 1 and 2. Like, and Hellraiser 3 is fucking hilarious because I've said this on the podcast before, I'm going to mention again, there is a Cenobite that throws CDs at people. And I think that is hilarious because he has CDs in his head, and it is like,
really?
How much cocaine was at that table when they were thinking about this?
Stephen King amount.
Yeah, like it is wild. But the thing is, Hellraiser, like the question with that is like, how would it be successful without Doug Bradley? Or would Doug Bradley reprise his role? He's too old. He's not going to do. I'm sure he's not going to. I'm sure he would love to do a Pinhead, but I don't think that studios are going to be like, yeah, we should get this like old man to get in on being Pinhead again.
Do it again, but do it with different. Like, don't go.
I think don't use Pinhead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like pick. You have the world of demons.
Yeah, world of Cenobites. Like you don't even need to have one.
Like make cool shit up.
That's kind of where I'm at.
That's why I wouldn't want to see Scream because you know what? I've seen Scream.
Scream has been done. Yeah. Like, and I don't, and that's where I'm at with Scream is I don't feel like there's enough to say right now to warrant Scream. And I also think that Scream, like I'm not a fan of Scream 3 or 4, and that's because that's when they started like, you know, everyone being like, oh, I didn't realize that Scream was a comedy. It's like, you're not supposed to be beaten over the head with the comedy of it. Like, that's what makes it, the subtlety is what makes it so brilliant in the first two. And then even Wes Craven got so carried away in 4 with the comedy. It's just like, you've completely lost the pulse of what this is supposed to be. And like, it's just like, it's not funny because it's trying too hard to be funny. And it's not scary because it's only focused on the funny parts. Scream 1 is just like, it's a scary movie that has some funny shit if you're paying attention. It's not like beating you over the head with it. So I'm worried that they would make it so, they would try so hard to make, I like Happy Death Day, but I worry that they would try and make it into like a Happy Death Day type thing. Or
yeah, but you're just saying you like Happy Death Day. It's fine. It's not Scream, obviously.
Right.
No. But the whole problem I have with it is Scream was very much lightning in a bottle, and for its time, what it was, breaking ground. I feel like anything past that, especially if you're trying to do a reboot, a remake, or whatever, you're never going to be able to capture that same thing, and it's going to feel like a cheap imitation.
Let's bring in a star so we can kill them, and that'll be so cool because no one will.
These kids haven't seen the first one. Yeah, it's the problem because it won't have that same effect.
I think if Scream is going to live again, it needs to still sit for a while, and I think there needs to be a reason for it. Right now, there isn't that big. Like, horror's in a renaissance right now for like making actually quality stuff and everything. Like that's. I just don't think that Scream would fit really well into where we're at right now because there's not a whole lot to comment on. It's not like even in like the early 2000s we had those like Scream ripoff slashers, and then we had the J-horror remakes and stuff like that. Like even then they could have said something, but then they did Scream 4 and they just skipped past all that and were like, hey, let's make a fart comedy. Like it's ridiculous. But I don't know. I'm sure they're going to make a buttload of money doing either of them. So it's going to happen whether I want it to or not. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of my 2 cents on it. How do you feel, Mike?
Yeah, I agree, especially with Scream. But nowadays, I don't even really pay attention to remakes because it doesn't take away what happened. But I wouldn't be like in a rush to see it in any way. No. The casting would be super important.
Yeah,
because I think that's a big part of what they got right back then. Like, to me, Skeet Ulrich, or however you say his last name, is always going to be that guy.
Skeet Ulrich?
Ulrich? Okay. You know, so, like, and obviously with Nev, like...
the casting was perfect.
Yeah, you just can't.
And that's what sucks is, like, I hate to say it because it's now showing my age and that I'm growing up, but teenagers are fucking annoying now. Like,
yeah.
Well, John lives with one.
But I guarantee you that 10 yeyears ago, people who are around my age were saying the same thing about, like, my demographic. But I do think that's, like you said, it's kind of... They struck lightning there with the cast and, like... Even the Scream TV show, pretty much any teenage-based horror movie right now, the kids are the problem. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. And
totally.
To me, it feels like you're making two types of horror movies now.
Yeah.
Movies for people who actually want to watch horror movies, for people who want to watch
Yeah.
movies that are good, and then let's keep doing all the teen slashers and that, and just different twists.
Yeah,
on
the popcorn.
Yeah, it's always that, and that I think that will always be there. And unfortunately, I think the teen slasher ones are the ones that always get
They have the
notice,
draw, yeah.
and then all the other ones, that's where places like me come in. Of like, no, we're going to show the cool shit. And
but
then
at the
for
same time,
we do have stuff like The Witch
and Us.
Yeah, and
Us is coming out. Even Get Out is so out of the normal. But what's funny is that Blumhouse is talking about doing this, and they have offered some from both camp. They put out The Gallows, one of the biggest pieces of shit I've seen in a couple of years, and then they also put out Get Out. Like it's crazy.
Right.
And then they put out Halloween, which made a buttload of money. So, of course, if they can have these remakes, they're going to do it.
And I'll never fault a company for putting out the crap so they can make the good stuff.
Yeah, and that's what Blumhouse totally does. Yeah. But like even I'm a big fan of Pet Sematary, the original. I know it's not a great movie. Like it's really not. So I'm excited for the remake or whatever, because I'm like, I love the original, but it's also like, it's not going to crush me here. Scream would kind of piss me off. I think Scream, I'd have a problem with that.
Well, even with the TV show, is other than the fact that the killer's name is Ghostface and it's called Scream, it doesn't have any sort of special elements. And this is coming from someone who actually likes the show.
Yeah.
There's nothing overly special about it. It kind of just, for me, it feels like that same thing where it's like in that Valentine area where it's just fun slashers.
Yeah.
And, it's not breaking ground.
It's definitely for a different demographic.
Yeah.
Like, that's like, I have a Scream tattoo on my body forever till the day I die, and I have seen 4 episodes of Scream TV shows. So it's like,
there's a difference, and you can kind of keep them away from each
I'm
other.
just excited. Yeah, I'm excited that I'm finally able to be where Mike and John were 10 years ago, where I'm just starting my career of telling people to get off my lawn. So,
and the older you get, the more you lean into it too.
It just gets better, doesn't it?
Totally.
So much to look forward to.
Yes.
I can't wait to hate everything.
For
My
sure.
hope is that I can actually just help people see the good stuff.
Yeah.
And try to
You're on the front lawn. Have you seen this movie, sir?
We just had our best year ever, and that truthfully, it was we doubled our attendance, and I'm so I'm so looking forward to where we're going.
It was very noticeable every time.
It was very cool, and I think we also did do a lot of stuff to kind of think about what we're presenting and stuff, because I do go down the hole of the weird shit that no one cares about, and then people come in and that was okay, but we don't get no one there.
Plus, you had press from the Terror Table this year,
yes.
so that's probably where.
But so I just keep trying to get the word out, and there is so much good horror out there, and that also even stuff like this. That's where I feel like talking about that type of stuff. Truthfully, other than when I get lucky with some of the really independent stuff or foreign stuff, you guys are going and your listeners are all going to already know this stuff and know of it and everything.
You know what's crazy though is I think I knew of I'm someone who kind of. It's embarrassing, whatever. I guess I'm admitting it to the right crowd, but I'm a fucking idiot, and all I care about is movies. So I spend my whole days looking out for movies and finding stuff. You brought this festival here this year, and I had heard of 2 of them. And Tigers Are Not Afraid was one of the best movies I've ever seen. So it's that, and that has horror elements. But even I wasn't aware of, or I was sort of aware of Satan's Slaves. There's so many different ones that you brought through here that even I hadn't heard of.
Just really start watching the festival circuit. That's the way, because a lot of this.
Well, that's how I try to pay attention to it.
Circuit, and then it's now Netflix, or Shudder, or something like that.
I'm really excited to see what the fuck is that one. Director is never mind. I was thinking Eyes of My Mother director, but he's doing the Ring sequel.
He's got it.
He has another one out though, doesn't he?
Shit. So we are already looking for next fall, and so I have this list of kind of I know that name's in there, and I know that name's in there, and I have no idea what their movies are called anymore. But there's definitely something from them.
Cool.
On a side note, I guess since Mitch kind of offhandedly brought it up, thank you for having our name in the theater. That was
cool.
It was just a kind of a small thing, obviously for you guys, but for us, it was really. I don't know. It was really cool to see that. It was like, oh, we made a little bit of something there.
Back off, Buzi. Stop sucking his dick.
No. Well, hey, we have always and I know you're the same way. You want to support local. You want things to grow.
Yeah.
And the only way to build a community is if we all work together. We all partner up.
All support.
And we're going to get way down this rabbit hole of things that people don't give a shit about. Listen to the podcast. But it is we're yes, we are not a horror festival, but we love horror and we have this wide genre. So we want to bring all that together. We want to get everyone out. We want to pack the theater.
Yeah.
And that's not to make money. Like, the theater wants us to make money, and that. But I just want people to see this shit, and that. And so finding those little hidden gems out there, and the part my programmers help me with is the fact that I find all these really little ones that no one gives a shit about that I end up loving just because, like, holy shit, this is cool, and then it's like, oh yeah, no one cares, and that. So we try to find that balance and everything. But yeah,
I think you said you're done for
I'm
new
done
stuff,
now.
right? You
so
had something, John.
this
right?
was cool. This just came up, and I was actually going to post about it on our website for Abducted in Plain Sight. Just so you know, they left some scenes out and everything.
Is there an unrated, X-rated version?
No. Skye Borgman, the director, has actually said that she wouldn't mind revisiting because there's stuff that they didn't cover. One of the things that they didn't cover was that the parents actually had a plan to actually get B in a car, and they were actually had a gun with them, and they were going to basically get their daughter back. So, like,
that would have helped.
Yeah,
that would have helped the movie.
Well, wait a minute. Yeah.
But it got left off because it just was another complication in the story of what they were trying to, just because it was
It's outside of their main narrative.
Well, it's a pretty convoluted story, but that would have helped to their cause a lot for so many people being like, they're so stupid.
You guys saying how stupid. No, they were actually, like, at the point of wanting to do violence against this guy to get their daughter back and everything, where that I feel is kind of missing in that story.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it just kind of makes the parents seem like bumblebutts the whole time. Like,
yeah.
Did you? So I know because you had said that you listened to the last episode. Did you hear about Diego noticed that Jan Broberg was in Maniac?
I heard that.
Isn't that crazy?
And we've shown both of them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it was kind of like, wow, okay.
Have you seen the Elijah Wood movie Maniac?
No.
Okay.
No, I
Because
haven't.
Jan Broberg, the one who gets kidnapped and abducted in plain sight, she's an actress now. And she's in that movie, and she gets scalped brutally by Elijah Wood.
Really?
Yeah. Like, and it's like we did
What
not.
a world we live in.
I know, and just that what a world where Diego decided to watch Abducted in Plain Sight and then Maniac.
Maniac.
What's the chances? What are the chances of that? Yeah.
I have one more thing. If we're all good on news here, I decided as a little special thing that because both you're here and Mitch as well, I have a game made for us to play, and there will be a winner hopefully. So this is I did this all myself. This is called Poorly Explained Plots. So I will explain to each of you. You will each get a turn. You will have 4 plots I will give you, and you have to guess correctly what the movie is.
How are we going to guess? Because we do have 3 huge nerds here.
No. You'll each get a turn, and then there's a bonus question if there's no outright winner. Okay. And as a little caveat to this, these are all movies that we have done on the podcast. Some of them are part of a sequel or a prequel. They are part of a trilogy of something, so you kind of have to go within that. Specifically, kind of the bonus round question. Anyway,
so I have a leg up on you guys.
yeah.
So this is if you've actually listened to our podcast. Okay, some of these are fairly simple. So I have John first. If you'd like to go first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. The first one is you have to guess. So, spooky dog makes people sick. And I'm trying to I made these as vague as possible.
Yeah, that's pretty vague. A spooky dog.
It's okay to say you don't know.
No, and all I got is Cujo in my mind, which is totally not it.
Pretty sure it's Secret Life of Pets.
Benji.
Dr. Dolittle.
I have no clue.
That was The Thing.
Oh shit. Okay.
So these are poorly explained plots. So you gotta really think about
like
this.
Spooky.
That's why I picked stuff that we had done on this podcast. You kind of rattle your brain out.
Yeah, seeing how the poster's right up there.
Yeah. Number 2.
Is this John still?
Yeah. John gets 4. Mike will get 4, and then you get 4. So you guys have to wait your turn.
Okay.
And no helping each other. Okay. Number 2. Stealthy man dislikes babysitters.
Jeez. Oh man, I'm terrible at this stuff. No clue.
No, that's Halloween.
Oh, yeah. See, so I'm overthinking.
And I'm looking at the poster for that one.
Yeah, you're overthinking these.
Now it's like, oh, what the hell?
There's probably a poster for all of these movies.
These are all ones we've done. Okay, ready for next one?
Yeah.
Man on the phone ruins festive holiday.
Black Christmas.
Black Friday, you were close. Yeah, that was a good. So you're 1 for 3 right now, and the last one is this one's really abstract. So you're gonna have to I used my imagination on this one. Pennywise gang sets up a tent in the woods. Yeah. See, you got the wheel spinning here now. And if it makes it, I'll give you a little hint. Honestly, I saw this movie at the Broadway Theater. You guys did a showing of it. Whether you're involved or not, it has played at the Broadway Theater in the last 2 years.
Who wasn't involved in it?
Wasn't involved.
Okay, because now all I got it with Pennywise is now I got clowns going through my head, so when you said us, and I was thinking of The Last Circus, but no, shit, no.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah, we didn't do that.
Oh shit! Okay, I knew I saw it at the Broadway, and I was trying to.
And you know what? Out of all of them, that's the one I haven't seen.
Damn.
Really?
Okay.
Oh man, you got some fucking gold there waiting for you.
I was
trying to figure out. Man, I was like, how do I need another preferred clown, and I was like, maybe Pennywise would be a good one.
It's the best B movie.
Really? Okay, awesome.
Okay, Mike, your turn. Okay, are you ready?
What the fuck?
Yeah, your last bud. Feral Dog has UK Adventure. These are things we've done, and they're horror movies.
UK Adventure.
Yes.
The only dog one I know is Cujo.
No,
I have no idea.
You can't. Don't think so literally about this. Do you want another guess or no?
Yeah, wait. Say it again.
Okay, Feral Dog has UK Adventure. So this is as basic. This is like if a kid was explaining it to you. So you have to kind of like.
Feral Dog.
This one's easy.
I think you got it.
Yep. Okay, Halloween.
Hey, no one's heard of that movie.
Festival fight.
I don't know.
American Werewolf in London.
Oh, for
see, that's why when you're like dog, I'm like, don't think so literally.
Yeah,
about
right.
this.
You're overthinking. You start to overthink everything.
Yeah. Big fish sinks a boat.
Jaws.
There you go. That was an easy one.
That could have been one of two.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
True.
Big, yeah.
True. Burnt man fights guy who is scared of water.
Oh.
Okay,
Come on.
his are easier than mine.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry.
No, of course, now you're not asking
scared
me.
of water. I don't. Elm Street, but Elm Street?
You're
Elm Street?
You're on the path.
Oh, Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
God.
I'm sorry I gave you hard ones. Mitch's are hard too.
Mine are probably gonna be the hardest.
Okay, ready for the last one?
Yeah.
So wait, you got you're two for three right now. Sick girl pukes on well-dressed man.
Exorcist.
There you go.
Nice.
Oh damn! I'm sorry, John. I feel bad now.
I'm so
No,
good
it all
at-
depends because I got 3 of his 4.
Yeah, I know.
true.
It depends what you like seen and what you totally.
Yourself,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so good at these games, and I know that I'm gonna fucking suck at this.
No, I think you should get it. I tried to go for okay. Bugs at the grocery store.
The Mist.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh man, Summer Mitch is
I
really
hate
easy.
that movie.
I love that movie.
The ending pisses me off.
Yeah, it's the best part.
No, you don't do that to an audience.
Yeah.
Ready for number 2? Jello eats the town.
The Blob.
Butt monster escapes the toilet.
Oh, what? How am I? Wait, how am I
Is that
drawing a blank on Butt Monster? Oh, Dreamcatcher.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
That it's.
Yeah.
And this is the last one. This should be a slam dunk. I feel bad now. Mommy issues ruins a shower.
Psycho.
Yeah. All right. And I do have a bonus one. So I'm going to let all you guys do it because this one's actually hard. So, just because it points to, well, this is a bonus round. Points don't matter. Who gives a fuck? Bonus question. Everybody listening?
Mm-hmm.
Smart robot is mean to people on strange vacation. This is probably the hardest one I have. So, smart
hardware. Hardware? No.
Nope, haven't done that one. Smart robot is mean to people on strange vacation. Come on, guys.
Oh my god, this is such terrible.
Are you
radio.
looking through the yes. You fuckers?
No. I'm coming up with one for you.
Okay. Mike, any guesses?
No, it's horror?
Yeah.
Strange what?
Strange vacation.
Strange vacation.
You have to realize that not all these words exactly mean what they're saying.
Right, so it's got to be... Okay, it's the robot part that's throwing me for this one.
Yeah, I'm thinking like No, we didn't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you want me to tell you guys? Mike, do you have one more guess?
No.
John, no guesses?
No.
Alien Covenant.
That's way too vague.
No, that's a good one.
See?
Strange vacation. Yeah, I guess. Fuck it.
Yeah,
how else was I supposed to Space
was...
Odyssey? Then I was like, I don't want to slam dunk this one. So thank you guys for playing. That was a little fun thing I wanted to try.
Okay, you want to try to come up with one for him?
I think I have one, but do you have one?
You go and then
Oh, like
Okay.
these fuckers are planning against me now.
I just have one.
Okay.
Go for a swim and avoid getting hit. That's way too shitty. But
Do you want me to go and then you can think it?
yeah.
Okay. See, it's not as easy as you think.
No, it's- yeah.
Without giving shit away.
Dad loves you, and so does God.
Frailty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
No, never mind. I'll come up with one by the time we're done.
Okay.
This is super fun, but it's making for bad radio.
Yeah,
But
sorry.
I wish I could have prepared, so I could have done one.
All
for
right.
you.
All right. Let's.
I'm going to do one more for you. One more quick.
Okay.
Just trying to find a good one. I'm trying to find one that you were here for sure.
I am zen for this. Get it.
Swing. No. God, I'm sorry. Ooh. Mom gets sick, baby's sad, and he dreams. I don't know. I can't.
Before I wake.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
I just described the whole movie.
It's hard to be vague enough without being
Yeah.
too vague.
Okay, well, thanks for that, Buzi. That was fun. We'll be back with our main feature presentation on Stephen King's Maximum Overdrive.
A lot of people have directed Stephen King novels and stories. And I finally decided if you want something done right, you ought to do it yourself.
Who was driving it?
I don't know.
It's coming after us!
It was my first picture as a director, and you know something? I sort of enjoyed it.
I don't know!
I just wanted someone to do Stephen King right.
You want a war? You got one.
I just want to get the hell out of here.
So come and spend some time with me and my friends at the Dixie Boy. Spend some time in the dark.
Please don't let us be in the dark. Help me.
I'm gonna scare the hell out of you. And that's a promise.
You're going to get us in an awful lot of trouble, man. We already in trouble.
Maximum terror.
Jesus coming and he is.
Maximum King.
Maybe tomorrow will be our world again.
Dino De Laurentiis presents Stephen King's Maximum Overdrive.
And here we are, everyone, at the main feature presentation in which we're going to be discussing a listener's pick, Maximum Overdrive, which was directed by Stephen King and was written by Stephen King and came out in 1986. And the story is a group of people try to survive when machines start to come alive and become homicidal. So this film is starring Emilio Estevez, who is
Amelia. I know someone had to do
the
it.
Mighty Duck guy. I swear to God, he was hot off the Breakfast Club. I know that King originally wanted Bruce Springsteen in the lead,
Okay, now I actually want to watch.
but Gary Busey wanted the role. So the only way to make this movie better is to have Gary Busey starring in this fucking movie. Okay, but yeah, so and then we also have Giancarlo Esposito, who's fucking Gus Fring from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Yeardley Smith, who's the voice of Lisa Simpson, who plays Connie, also known as the world's most annoying character on TV.
My God.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
And it also stars Pat Hingle, Laura Harrington, and a whole bunch of other people who are very mad about these things coming to life. Quick shout out at the beginning here. I just want to say this was a Dino De Laurentiis film. For those of you who don't know, he was an Italian film producer whose legacy ran from 1946 up until 2007 with Hannibal Rising. He was involved with movies like Halloween 2 and 3, Amityville 2 and 3, Dune, Silver Bullet, Blue Velvet, Evil Dead 2. Like this guy, like you see Dino De Laurentiis' stamp everywhere, and all these like old, especially the older 80s movies that a lot of us grew up loving. He's responsible for. So yeah, he passed away in 2010. But I just want to say that he had his name on this little number.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess we'll just start off here. Thank you guys for coming, and you're welcome.
I just want to say one thing before we get started, because I already kind of know where this conversation is going, so I just want to point out the fact that
John's Facebook status was fucking gold.
Okay, so this movie came out in 86, right? This is the same year The Fly came out, Night of the Creeps, Aliens came out the same year, Hitcher. So not a great... It's weird that this movie's part of that collection of things, because these are movies that I kind of hold near and dear, and then Maximum Overdrive came out that year.
I just want to say, if you're out there and you feel like you're going through some shit, like you're not excelling at your current goals, or you feel like you're in a rut or something, the writer of The Shining, It, Carrie, The Shawshank Redemption, The Green Mile, Stand By Me, and Pet Sematary is responsible for this gigantic pile of filth. Everybody fucks up.
Oh, so that's how we started that one. Okay.
I love this movie. I'm just like, I think that this is a super fucking fun movie, but it's also, I don't want to get too far ahead of the curve here, but the score is made entirely by AC/DC, and I think that's kind of where we need to be to start this conversation.
What, do you want me to play fucking Thunderstruck or what?
I wouldn't be opposed to it. But.
Okay.
So, John, I didn't see your Facebook. What was your Facebook status?
I'm gonna pull it. I'll pull it up here. You guys can.
My second post was, okay, now I'm gonna watch something good.
It was a palate cleanser.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's why I watched I Saw the Devil, because that was right after.
What a
this.
weird like tone change.
Oh god,
Yeah.
I just no. It was like I needed to watch something different.
Yep, that movie was pretty terrible.
So is that your first time?
No,
You've seen this movie before?
Yeah, I'd seen it before. It's been long enough that I didn't remember most of it.
Same here.
But I blacked most of it out. Probably.
Oh,
I would
I'm
have
so
been
sorry.
15. So was this rated R when it came out?
It had to have been. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's boobs and fucks and
Yeah.
Boobs and fucks.
So, but so I do remember watching it. I must have watched it at. I don't like. That's where like back then. How was I seeing some of this shit? Like I know we had a VCR, so we probably rented it, in that type thing around that time. So yeah, no, that's just no. It wasn't fun. Like
So you didn't
you're
have fun?
like you're saying, oh, it's fun. No, it's not fun. It's just boring. The kills are terrible. The characters, their interactions are not dumb enough and not bad enough to be fun.
What?
The
interactions between these characters are
they're dumb, but they're not
most comical things.
I just no. It was just like no. It was just wasn't like that's the thing. I was just bored.
Yeah, I think for me, just to cut in here real quick, is that I feel like I don't look at this as a movie. I think of this as like
Stephen King's
This
drug
is
trip.
what cocaine does to you, and like that makes it more entertaining to watch. Just thinking about Stephen King running around set with his fucking wobbly ass, just screaming at everyone and being all pissed off about Kubrick making The Shining. And then, how it you heard in the trailer before this, he says the whole thing. I'm Stephen King, and I've learned that if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. Like, have you seen that?
No.
The trailer is Stephen King talking.
Oh my gosh!
And
he has the nerdiest. Like you want to wedgie him through the.
I know.
Honey, this machine says I'm an asshole.
Okay, can we backtrack here? Did you give an explanation of what the plot of this is?
Yes, I did.
Did you?
Yeah. So, one thing I noticed is movies in the 80s, they just drop you into the story. Mm-hmm. There's no, it's like...
subtlety is not a...
No, it's... Yeah. A couple things. How many movies has King directed?
This.
So that's it. So he did this, and then it was like never again.
He's famously said like that people have asked him if he'd ever why he doesn't direct more movies, and he's just like, did you see Maximum Overdrive? That's
so he
why.
recognizes it now.
He calls it a moron's film.
Right. Why? Just because a lady couldn't avoid a butter knife or an automatic turkey knife or whatever?
Yeah, turkey cutter.
See, but that isn't the stuff that. It was just. Oh god. Okay, so
it's all annoying.
Yeah, and like when I can't remember what it was. It was when I think either the bulldozer came into the building or whatever. Suddenly, this guy who I have no clue who he is. He's one of the people in the restaurant. Comes running out, kicks the door open, screams, and then just kind of like sits down and is like, "What the hell are you?"
There's absolutely no reason for any of it.
I know, and
I don't know. I think that's probably one of the best romances I've seen on film. You make love like a hero. It's real weird sexual politics in that movie where like the Bible salesman's trying to grope her, but then Emilio Estevez is like, would you stab me if I put my arm around your shoulder?
Yeah.
Like, it's a real weird sort of...
Everyone's in a different movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, yeah.
Also, that lovemaking thing, just coming back to that, is it was such a hard cut of like a little bit implied tension between the two.
Yes,
and all
and
of a
then-
sudden they're just in bed together, like talking sweet nothings.
So the first time you see Emilio, like, he's clearly high, right? Am I like I don't mean weed. I mean, like, you see his eyes and you're like, does he even know?
He's probably doing blow with Stephen King.
Yeah, or like Charlie's back.
Yeah, he's
behind
rolling.
the camera. Yeah, it had to have been.
Yeah.
But by far so for you young guys, I saw this when it came out, probably on VHS. There was one friend whose parents didn't give a shit, so we'd have
Those were
sleepovers
the
there.
best
Oh yeah,
friend-
for
yeah,
sure. And
best
they
parents.
also
was
were
me.
like early adapters, so they had the VCRs and all that. And only salt and vinegar chips in their house, like for snacks. This is weird. I was like,
They just lived
literally
off of salt and vinegar.
whenever we had a sleepover, it's like, oh my god, I can't have any more salt and vinegar chips.
Don't your does every tongues hurt here?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like a Captain Crunch guy, but this is a bit much. So I saw this when it came out, and I'll just say I was actually scared. Like, not scared, but the deaths, the guy with the can in the forehead. But now that I watch it, it's like he gets one in the nuts, and thinks, where should I put my head?
Yeah,
probably right in front of the pop machine.
Everybody was pointing things at their... It's like watching like videos of Hicks like pointing guns at themselves. That was that whole movie. What's down here?
Yeah. But I think if you're going to make a movie about machines coming to life, I think it's probably best to pick the slowest and loudest vehicles.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to see a semi sneak up on something, not only a semi,
or a golf cart with an AK,
a brightly colored semi with a face on it.
Yeah, the Green Goblin
from 100 feet away was driving towards you, and you're like standing there, not moving, and it's like, we made you.
So that was my favorite line of the entire thing when she's like, if the comet leaves, we can go back, it'll be our planet. And Emilio says, was it ever?
Yeah.
Adding some deep levity.
Oh, man,
what is it trying to say?
How hard they're trying to make this legitimately scary is like, the problem is, like, we talked about this on a few episodes ago with Sleepwalkers, where it's like, yeah, they were trying to make it scary, but it didn't always work out. Like, it was so campy. Like, I'm like, I don't understand how this could be scary to anybody.
No.
But apparently, and
it
even
was when I was 10.
Well, even in the trailer, Stephen King says, "I'm going to scare the shit out of you."
Oh, really? Oh, that's funny.
And it's just like, it's fucking wild.
So the part I'm trying to figure out is, so it's at one point when the machine gun comes in and stuff like that and everything, and they're like, oh, now we have to fill up the gas truck. They spend, 4 hours filling up trucks, and he's covered in blisters.
I know.
And he's like
it.
ready to commit suicide or something. Like, he's just passed out. And, like,
the gas pumping montage is just pristine filmmaking.
I like that at some point. Yeah, when did the meteor thing come into play that they figured all this out? Because they communicate with the...
Well, it's in like the opening, like the intro of the movie. They have like the script at the beginning.
No. But like in terms of the characters
Yeah.
knowing about it. Because it kind of goes from them all being terrified of the vehicles to like Emilio having conversations with like the trucks and stuff. Like he's figured out who the leader is. Oh, hey, big hoss, you can get on out of here.
I think if an alien came to our planet, it would look like a big house, and I think they're going to take it over. How the fuck do you know that? Like, why are you? And then
on what logic stand? Yeah.
I also love that those fucking 18-wheelers were just ripping around the parking lot for like a day.
Yeah.
Like, and that's where, like, even Courtney brought that up. I'm like, Courtney, you cannot look for logic in this movie.
My kid
She just
watching with me. That's what I told him. No, just don't try to think.
Yeah, don't try
Dad,
to think.
can we turn this off?
Oh, no,
Like, even
he was like me, like just kind of like, what the why?
Going through the motions of watching a
basically.
Courtney's very forgiving of like all that kind of stuff, and she just decided to take a nap.
And it's right from the beginning. Like the first time that a watermelon falls off of a truck through someone's windshield and kills somebody, you just know what you're in for. Like there's no
that weird pileup where it seemed like they filmed the pileup but didn't allow the actors to leave. So they were responding accordingly because there's shit being thrown at me. Somebody will cut.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I get that there are better pieces of trash out there. Like there are. Like even like I don't want to call Killer Clowns from Outer Space trash because it's not trash, but it is a like goofy. It's a campy B movie, and
but
everything.
It knows what it.
Yeah, exactly. This did not know what it was trying to be. Like that's why I think it's so special. Is that we have one of like. Debatably, not even debatably, he's one of the like great literary geniuses of our time. we have video proof of him going through this shit with this movie. It's just like, I think it's so fascinating seeing a guy who's like so on, like he's written some of the most like iconic films, iconic like novels,
and he's a household name. You can't take that away from him.
And some of the most deeply psychologically disturbing stuff that he's come up with.
Yeah.
But for some reason, like a lawnmower chasing a kid down the street on a bike, what he thought was a good idea.
I'm actually glad you said that, because I want to chime in with something positive I found. Is that kid roaming around was the best part of this movie. I think if that even would have been a short film, just that to that, I actually, that was the only part of the movie where I was like, this is shot well. It's leaving a lot of interesting aspects here, because they show the shot of the kid biking by, and maybe I'm just delving too deep into this. You guys are giving me a fucking look, but
I'm
agreeing with you too.
Like, okay, because you guys are all just kind of like,
it's the only part of the movie that's happening.
Yeah, but you're looking at this, you're like, okay, this is tension building, because you're seeing the kid bike by, and you see like the lawnmower.
There's no adults around.
Yeah, it's in the wrong fucking movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's weird that there's this shining moment where I'm like, this is genuinely good filmmaking. Yeah, you have the lawnmower covered in blood, and the empty streets and everything, and then you see the ice cream truck. What the hell was it, Mr. Tasty, or it was 2 T's or something, Tasty Treat, whatever. But although it is silly that the ice cream machine's looking to try and pick people up, like some sort of signal to them, I thought that was very well done in terms of building stuff. Obviously, they throw it out the fucking window within 5 seconds of that, but I thought that was well done. And the other thing I wanted to point out, which I don't know if you guys found, there was the main couple, like Yardley Smith was one, and then I can't remember who the other guy was.
Yeah.
You guys have all seen The Sixth Sense, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember the little kid's name in that. What's his?
Haley Joel Osment.
Haley Joel Osment. I took a picture of this because they're sitting in the vehicle and they both look like Haley Joel Osment, but like
I can see Yardley Smith looking like him.
Yeah, I never even thought about that.
I'll just pass it around so you guys can go like, oh, maybe. I took a picture of this and I was
Holy
like,
shit.
They do. They both look like Haley Joel Osment. They slightly Curtis. So that's them like flying around that whole time. They're
you gotta post that on Instagram and Facebook.
Also, why the fuck didn't his car ever like turn?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Okay, so that's the part like that was a lot of like I hated the dialogue. I hated that. I hate like so much. I hated this thing.
You don't know art.
No, it's like I'm like, okay, everything with an engine, cool. Everything without an engine, stop having it move. Type thing. And the knife, fine. The knife is close enough someone catch someone by accident and stuff like that. But then, and even maybe on the floor shaking, but still.
But at least Emilio saved her by grabbing her shoulders.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
but
like standing in place.
The lawnmower ticked me off because I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it's self-powered, but at that point, I don't think they even had self-powered.
Speaking of the lawnmower, director of photography Armando Nanuzzi lost his eye while filming this movie when the lawnmower cut up some wood and shot shards at the crew, and it shot him in the eye, and he lost his eye.
That's scarier than the entire movie.
Yeah, he sued King for $18 million.
Holy fuck!
I found that.
Really?
I was looking up.
Did he win? He won?
Yeah, he got
they probably settled out of court for sure.
That was pocket change for King, especially back then. Yeah. But fuck, it's just it's how are we forgetting the scene where there's a guy literally just shitting in the fucking bathroom, having a conversation with Emilio, and Emilio's peeking over the top, and it's just like, that King was actually trying to make a scary movie though, but this guy's just going.
And they're not even together. Like it's not filmed. It was so obvious that they was filmed. It's like you actually made a point to film this. Like it wasn't something that you just had to fill some space.
Yeah. You want me to do what now?
That character was weird too. Just the fat guy that was like so dumb. And one thing that's weird though, you guys, I can't figure out as much as like I've Googled it. The lady that plays Brett, like the Emilio's girlfriend.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out where I recognize her from, and she's from Gilbert Grape.
Gilbert Grape.
She plays Leo's sister, but she completely disappeared.
What's her name again? I gotta find
Harrington. Amanda Harrington.
Yeah, Laura Harrington.
Laura Harrington.
She shows her boobs in something.
Oh, does she?
I think so.
This is the information we came for.
I think so. I could be wrong.
But then she just never made another movie after. If you want to,
she's in The Devil's Advocate.
Right. But then, so that was what, 97. But then completely disappeared. She's nowhere on social media.
Is she dead?
I don't know. I can't find anything.
Is this a conspiracy? Did
I was
you
all
find
excited
it?
because I
still
found a
alive?
Laura Harrington that was like accused of murder. And I was like, oh, maybe she got involved in some weird... And it was like, oh, no, that's a PGA pro. And I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Her last movie was in 1999.
Yeah, and then she just... there's no news. Her Wikipedia mentions that last movie, and it doesn't mention a spouse. If she's, like, retired...
Oh, she's totally a crazy cat lady.
Welcome to the Terror Table, where we prove that the worst monsters are real.
are ourselves.
It's Hollywood.
Okay, let's
Sword
get
and
back to
scale
talking about Maximum Overdrive.
No,
here.
I want to find out if she's a murderer.
I almost enjoyed the little journey through the sewer. Shower
almost
thing.
enjoyed it. Yeah.
Well, it was they actually had a little bit of chemistry, the two guys, and that.
How many people shit in here do you think?
Yeah, like
knock it off, man.
It was still terrible, but it was like at least kind of half.
For a movie where nobody had chemistry, because clearly all the couples you're watching them, you're like, you guys fucking probably hate each other off, you know. So it was nice to have somebody have a little bit of banter back and forth, but also, the guy who shoots at the machine gun, I believe, is there one guy who shoots at a rocket launcher at one of the vehicles and then immediately gets shot like 300 times?
Yeah.
And there's also like his buddy that's standing near him who also gets shot. And I think they tried making it seem like a really emotional scene because he did the big like exaggerated, I've been shot. But you don't care about him. You don't care about
anybody. There's
in
too many characters.
Even the kid. You could tell. Yeah, when they were stacking people up in the gas station or whatever, it's like, it's a body count.
When your people who escape at all are numbering about 10. At the end, you've got too many flipping characters.
But the Dixie Boys survived, and they're still surviving.
And why, of all the people to kill, why Yeardley was not? Am I saying that right?
Yeardley Smith.
Yeah. How was she not? She was so annoying.
I just kept hearing Lisa Simpson after I clued in that was Lisa Simpson.
She was a fair-sized name right around then.
Yeah.
And that, like, just her
she's
voice
very
and
embarrassed about this movie. That's what I found.
With good
I don't know
reason,
why, but yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just I think you don't have any clue about what you're doing when you're on cocaine. That's why they call it snow business, baby.
Oh, fuck me. Oh, my God.
Snow business like snow business.
It's weird when you're a kid, though, because I thought Emilio Estevez could act.
I don't think he's that bad in this movie. I think he's like fucked with what he's given.
Yeah, I think it was just the 80s. I think everyone was high and sort of like not doing anything.
But
like
even look at him in The Breakfast Club, which was a
You're
year
right,
before
you're
this.
right.
It was a year before this. Then he went on to make the Mighty Ducks classics.
There's a lot of good 80s movies.
Yeah.
But looping this with all
You're
the
like,
rest.
I want to talk about other.
I watched Masters of the Universe the night before, so you're right. It probably just was on a bit of a bad 80s streak, but there's no standouts for performance even.
No.
Other than that little kid.
And even him, I was kind of, it sounds bad, but I was wishing a little bit of death on him, maybe. I was just like,
I wanted
get
them
out
all
of
to
the
fucking die. Yeah.
Yeah, because you had all this big setup for like, this kid could have got hunted down by an ice cream machine.
So
But he did not.
I was on my phone for a bit. Did I miss the super important plot point where they
explain why they have all guns?
Yeah, like the rocket launchers. Well, he's that kind of guy.
Yeah.
But why did the trucks wait to drive into the thing? Was that
they wanted the fuel. And they had to wait for the gun to come to force them because the gun knew Morse code.
Yeah, oh my god, I forgot about the Morse code.
Right,
This is like
Beep, beep, stop, beep, beep, beep. Yeah, okay, yep.
Oh my god,
Right.
the kid translating it, like, holy fuck, I forgot about that Morse code.
But then watching Emilio sneak up beside it with a grenade and be
I think I would have liked it if I'm the opposite. I think I would have liked it if they were actually trying to go for camp.
Yeah, well, 100%.
That's I think he just failed it all completely.
No, but that's why I like it though. I like when they're like
unintentional camp.
when they just
I
fuck
do too.
up.
Because
That's why I can't
try now.
I can't wait to see that new McConaughey and Anne Hathaway movie. People are saying that it's one of the best bad movies ever. Like, not Serendipity.
The one on the boat.
Serenity.
Serenity. Apparently, it is like so
There's
fucking
already a
bad.
movie called Serenity.
Yeah,
I know. I was like, first of all,
but like, I want to go to the theater for this because apparently it is like
it's gone
so
already.
fucking bad.
It started from Friday and it left on Wednesday.
Oh, that happened to Overlord too, though. That sucks.
That's true. It was like me and four other dudes in the theater.
Yeah. But no, like that. I love when they're just like when they fuck up so bad.
See, I still haven't gone to the room.
Yeah,
I got better thing. I'd rather watch something good than watch something bad. Unless I'm going with a whole bunch of people drinking and we're deliberately going for that atmosphere.
But I think
even then, I still I need to know someone has to drag me along.
Yeah.
And that.
Yeah, because we've kind of had that conversation. I can't remember when we were talking about the room before, but we had that conversation where it's so overblown now that it's not that. I think if you would find another movie like that,
Well,
as
so
like
many
a
people
secret gem. You know, it's so overdone now.
So many people are trying to do that.
Yeah,
and
or
like that's what
parody
makes
themselves.
yeah, and that's what makes it not good. Is that like we want to see this app like because he's an alien. Tell me why he's also like that's what, like I want to see.
Yeah,
it,
he's
but
the 1% race.
even
honestly.
like. I know I said last week I was excited about like the big shark thing. Like I'm not excited for that, but like I will watch it. But like he now knows who he is.
Yeah.
So I'm like I'm more interested in seeing people genuinely fuck up. Like that's why. What's that other one with the Rock was in it?
Skyscraper?
No, it was
Rampage?
Southland Tales.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so you need to come over to my house and see my signed Southland Tales poster.
Yeah, because I still haven't seen it, but like it's apparently like that's a prime example of it.
Vehicles
Like,
fucking.
it has what?
Vehicles fucking for a commercial.
Oh my
Really?
god!
In the movie, yeah.
Oh my god!
What I'm going to ask the hard question: what type of vehicle?
Yeah.
If I remember correctly,
like a
now it's
Ram
been
truck,
years.
fucking a Prius.
They
or
are.
like-
They're both big trucks, I think.
oh, well, that makes sense.
BBT baby.
I feel like Saskatchewan might enjoy that.
Alberta, fucking Saskatchewan in
Well,
truck form.
that's the only reason you could ever want to watch The Counselor, where you can watch Cameron Diaz fuck a car. That happens. The look of disgust. Mike's like, I could be watching that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out the logistics of it.
The Counselor. Have you not seen the
No.
Ridley Scott film? Cameron Diaz fucks a vehicle,
Like which part of the vehicle?
like the hood and the shield, the windshield.
Really?
Yeah.
Guys, can we get back on track? We're talking about fucking Maximum Overdrive here, and I have something important to say for the end, but if you guys have anything else to say.
I do. Like, I put my dick in a gas tank, but I don't understand. like it's easier for me to fuck a vehicle because I've got the parts
But
to
how
like.
she just gyrates
She just
on
gyrates.
it. Yeah. But I think who's in it? Someone's in the vehicle. It's either Fassbender or Del Toro, Benicio Del Toro, who's sitting in. Yeah.
What is this movie?
You don't know The Counselor?
I don't.
It's a Ridley Scott movie, and it came out like 5 years ago. Do you know The Counselor?
I never saw it, but I know it.
Yeah, I saw it, and it was while I was.
Are we talking like camp guidance? What kind of counselor are we talking
it's
about?
okay, man. I'm pulling this up for you. Look,
Like a
look at
therapist?
this fucking cast.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Cameron Diaz fucks a car in that movie. Sorry, I gotta ask you a question. You're a Pixar fan, big Pixar fan. You've seen them all. Has there ever been a Maximum Overdrive reference in the Cars movies? Because those are the only Pixar movies I've never seen.
I don't think so. The only ones that the connection I've always seen is Lee Unrich, the director of like Toy Story 3 and Coco. His favorite movie ever is The Shining. So there's always lots of Shining references.
Oh yeah, I've seen that
in his stuff.
yeah.
But no, I haven't noticed.
Because I just feel like that's a lot of missed opportunity for this to bring back Maximum
Call
Overdrive.
back Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah.
Don't they even play it doesn't matter. AC/DC.
Yeah.
We haven't even fucking talked that much about AC/DC.
Why has AC/DC scored more than one movie? Because they scored Iron Man 2 also.
Yeah. Yes.
And debatably, like, I don't hate Iron Man 2, but it's debatably one of the worst ones.
It is.
But I think AC/DC at least fits in an Iron Man movie. All the AC/DC in this seems so out of place.
It's because what do you want to hear when you're a cokehead? You listen to Bruce Springsteen and AC/DC.
Yeah, but if
so King was a huge fan of them.
A bunch of angry vehicles driving around, you're going to play AC/DC?
Are you
It's
kidding?
also that they don't pace the music with the movie either.
He's just
There's
like
so many like just moments like it's all quiet. And it's like, oh look, trucks, cool, AC/DC.
Yeah.
It's like this is my favorite part of this song. I'm going to put it right here. It doesn't matter if it fits.
Yeah.
And I get just because we are actually talking about Maximum Overdrive again, and I want to finish it off on a strong note. I want to talk about the ending that is. The ending basically tells you that you've watched a bad movie and that you get nothing out of it. Because they literally, the ending is just that credit thing of...
Feels like a Red Dawn ending.
Yeah. Well, like, the only thing I could think of is it reminded me of The Simpsons with Poochie, where it was like, Poochie died back on the way to his home planet. Right. And that was it.
Do you know what my kid asked me? It's like, why didn't the satellite, if it had laser, kill people?
See, your son has already wrote a better ending to this movie than what it was.
I've never seen a dumber sentence typed out on a movie which happened to have guided lasers and like the explanation at the end. Like I can't believe they even
freaking
typed
laser
that.
beams.
Exactly.
But you could put it into the whole. At that time, there was still a lot more fear of Russia and that and everything.
So
it's
it's
like
Russia now.
It was
Red Dawn.
Oh, it was. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It was.
That's what it was. It was that fear of Russia, and that's
to escape. They get into another fucking vehicle.
Yeah.
Why was the boat like?
Because it was just a sailboat.
no, didn't they start it?
No,
Like
they said it was they were going to it. No, you must have missed that part.
I must
on your
have
phone for that.
my mind was blown by the fact that Emilio couldn't undo that fucking knot. He's gonna saw through it with a razor blade versus like that, like
Just pull it.
it was right there. It was right there.
No, earlier they talked about his big plan was to get to a sailboat and sail away, which is like,
Right.
okay, fine.
See, I'm a big fan of freeze frame endings, and I hope that they make a comeback. But like, I gotta say that I loved the ending of the Dixie Boy. The survivors of the Dixie Boys are still surviving.
Are still survivors. Yeah.
And they are still survivors. I'm like, oh my fucking god.
That and what was Emilia's throwaway line when he finally killed the boss truck? Because it was so anticlimactic. I think I sent it to
says
Mitch.
Something like you bastard. But
do you know what I'm talking about? Like,
I don't remember.
It kills the one dude after he gets the ring because he dies of greed, and then immediately Emilio comes out with the rocket launcher, shoots the truck, and everybody's like, "Yeah!" And he has some throwaway line, he's like, "Take that, you butthead," or something.
Yeah, it's something like that.
But it's like they borrowed that goblin front of the truck because every other truck they blew up, and that one it's like, oh, there's a little fire in the goblin's mouth,
and its eyes go red.
Yeah, its eyes go red, and it's like, take that, you sucker, and then it's done.
So my favorite though was they shoot the bazooka at the truck and blows up the front of the truck, and toilet paper rolls go flying all over, and then they're running through the toilet paper, I can't remember what those the people or the cars driving over, and it was just like, where did the toilet paper come from?
So
it was the front.
Do you guys think that this is like unused script from Christine that just became this amalgamation?
God. Please
like
don't say them in the same sentence.
Because what's with him making fascinations with living cars? I don't.
Everything else that he does, there's a psychological fear that you go, okay, like my dog, it might bite me or whatever, like something that's based in like a childhood fear.
My husband's
I
gonna
can
kill me.
understand the thought process into Maximum Overdrive, but I also understand that some ideas you go, oh no, that needs work, and then you stop.
Right. I can even like a car makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, and there was Christine, right? But obviously, like if you think like, man, every time I get a Coke, I'm just like, is this thing gonna hit me in the head? Or
I know.
like I just don't. That's a real fear.
Man, I legitimately love any movie that has the balls to kill a whole bunch of kids, and like that, like the scene at the baseball field.
Yeah.
And how there's apparently they Stephen King originally wanted like to have like a ball, like a bag of fake blood go under the steamroller so that it would make a streak on the steamroller and then make a streak going across the grass. But when they did it, it made it look like the kid's head exploded. And Stephen King was apparently so stoked, and they made him cut it.
And they did. Oh, they would,
because it was like too brutal. But like he was so excited about the results, and it was a fuck up. But he's just like, yes.
Here's my golden scene. All right, does anyone have anything else to talk about with Maximum Overdrive? Could we have a Maximum Overdrive 2? This time it's personal.
No, you could. Okay, so you could have a very good movie about
please
fear,
write this
about fear of technology.
Yes,
and
now it would
It's called Black Mirror.
Yeah, and things taking over.
Oh, no, that's called Virus.
There are
it's called Eagle Eye with Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, that's true.
We're all just naming it.
It's called The Terminator.
It's called the Will Smith one where he runs through a laundry shop.
iRobot.
No, but there's another one where everything's watching him.
Hitch. Hancock.
Oh,
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I'll look it up.
I'm
Am I
Legend.
imagining this?
Men in Black 2.
you aren't. I saw it and I can't remember what it is. But
Will Smith, what?
Yeah, Will Smith. Is Gene Hackman in it?
Yes, yeah. All the technology is watching him all the time. And they ruin his
Not
life by freezing
Enemy
his
of the
bank
State?
account.
Yeah, Enemy of the State.
Are you serious? I've been thinking about rewatching that lately.
Yeah.
Is it horrible?
It's not bad.
I watched it once and I forgot about it.
It's weird that they
Clearly
painted
not, my friend.
They painted it blue, but,
it was another one of those, like, was it 90s or late 90s?
Yeah.
Or early?
It was
early
mid-90s.
Okay.
'Cause
And
it
it was
was
just one of those
before
ones
all
that
the-
came out and it was like, oh, this is something. So
98.
movies with my wife, she likes the stuff that is happy, friendly, stuff like that.
It's a Tony Scott movie.
But it's
Really?
Yeah, it's that type of light action. It feels like, and she'll watch those. So that's one.
Oh, those are awesome. That's what Courtney and I are doing right now. Like, we just watched Ransom last week.
Nice.
With Mel Gibson. And, oh man, The Negotiator. So good still. Not letting Kevin Spacey ruin it for me.
Right.
Kevin Spacey and Sam Jackson. Sorry, Boozy.
Yeah,
so they should do a remake or a new one.
Okay, since I'm just gonna throw this out there, so you guys have to give me like a little bit of thought on this one. If they were to make a Maximum Overdrive 2, this time it's personal, come out like this year, what would be the spookiest new technology that would be taken over? So it could just be like It could be electronic or a vehicle. Like,
Have you seen those fuck bots?
that actually would be terrifying.
Because especially since that's what I always like when those things pop up, like in movies or like on my internet when I'm looking at them. It's just like, man, who fucks these things? Because they look like they are they are soulless.
Okay, so Mitch has fucked all. Can we get you guys?
I got to think about that one because I think technology itself is terrifying
in the beginning. I would say a Roomba.
Like you do a lot with a Roomba.
No, like a Roomba that has like I don't know, like someone taped a knife onto him or something.
Because it's all cheesy. Like when you try to describe, like that's like I was saying, like drones or something like that. But it's just I can't imagine doing
drone just swooping
it's
at
hard
you.
to do. I can't imagine doing it well. That's the problem, and that's I think what this movie has the issue with. If you can't do this stuff, it's killing people well.
It's kind of that idea of like what was that, like shark in a pool or whatever. When it was like, guys, just don't go in the pool, and everyone's like, well, it's hot out. It's the same
I'm
sort
going to go in the pool.
Yeah,
I have an idea. How about little devices in your pocket that are basically computers? They call them phones,
and you watch porn on them,
and they like fry your nuts with the radioactive stuff, and then they listen to everything you say.
And they slander you.
Isn't that be scary?
They take all of your recently deleted selfies because you're trying to get the right one,
right.
And they post all the bad ones.
Release the dick pics.
So instead of having vehicles and stuff try to kill, like you could ask a little bit of that, but really have it of how you could break down society by taking that information and. So
you're making a better movie,
and
already.
It's passing it on to.
It could be a comment on.
It knows who your contacts are,
yeah,
and it passes.
And that's
that
already
information
happening.
on
That's
to
my
your
point.
contacts.
Is that like if you go to Center Mall, all the information signs at the entrances now have cameras.
Yeah, and then so sorry, and at the post-credit scene in Guardians of the Galaxy where we first reveal that Thanos is there.
Right.
Okay, so after the movie that you're discussing, there'll be the same kind of reveal after the credits, and it'll be Edward Snowden.
You're like,
yeah, and he's like holding up 5 rings.
One more.
Yeah.
All right. Do you guys? I guess since we're wrapping it up, unless you guys have anything more to. I just wanted to say.
I wonder who made us watch this.
That would actually be my roommate, and it was by random draw. He's a really nice guy, so don't go too hard on him.
How did this movie do? Money wise,
reviews are shit.
Yeah, I mean money wise, because I think a lot of people went because of AC/DC.
Yeah, and also Stephen King.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Stephen King's first, blah blah blah. Like it says in the trailer, I'm sure it probably had a big pop on the first week, and then the word started getting around.
Shit, what do we watch?
Yeah, exactly. Because you could literally stand out front of a theater and just go like, don't go to this.
But the difference back then, man, is the word didn't get around because there was no way for it to get around. Kids that were like they just would walk to the store and be like, oh, there's a cool truck on the front.
That's fair.
Estimated $10 million budget, and opening weekend it made $3 million.
Really?
Gross by country, $7 million.
I think word did get around. There was a lot more. Like,
I remember it's slower.
Yes,
newspapers.
And,
that's true.
And that and everything.
It just wasn't near as quick as it is now.
That's fair. So yeah, just going kind of wrapping it up. Do you guys have anything to plug? Do you guys want to do like a festival fight kind of thing?
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
When's the next Mike Fisher show episode?
Well, this rated probably be like 2020.
Okay, I'll mark.
Well, I am working on it. I'm working. Okay. I can't really say. You guys have an awesome format. It's something I actually wanted to say. It's not plugging anything, but before when you guys were talking about. Hating younger generations, and as you get older, you don't give a shit as much and stuff. Like, you guys, you're like hunger for movies is super. For interesting movies is super rare. For I think for your generation, even for ours, but it's getting worse because if you look at what's at the theater now, it's the huge tent poles. Or the tiny, even the tiny films are disappearing. It's just tentpole to tentpole, right? And so, but I love that you guys at your age look for like the crazy shit and the interesting stuff because you actually want to know because it's everyone is you guys know I like the Marvel stuff, but it's like to me that's just scratching the surface for what's out there.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see guys that are younger than me, like you said, John. You like to. Make sure people see the good stuff, and you guys are like actively seeking it out.
Yeah,
and I just think that makes a huge difference because it's really hard to not get discouraged when you look at how many people just eat up like the same.
But
bullshit.
That's where I do think, for me, I think the future of cinema is going to be big blockbusters, and then curation, and the curation will be all the art house theaters and stuff like that, and it will be this festival which shows this kind of stuff. Okay, this theater picks all the Wes Anderson style movies, and I'm a big fan of Wes Anderson, and you will just hit those. The average person sees 3 to 5 movies a year,
Right.
in theater, and so I think you'll always have that, and that'll be the big blockbusters, and then all these other ones will be just people like, oh yeah, we're fans of this type of place and this thing, and that's what it's going to be. And then the rest, truly, like I said, I've told you, I have a 110-inch screen at home. Why the hell am I going to a theater anymore?
Totally. I would,
and that because and that's the blockbusters, and that. So the only thing that gets me out is my kid and the fact that it is a spectacle.
Right.
So all those other movies, like there's a reason why it took me that long to watch Get Out. There's a reason why it took me that long to watch Hereditary. I can watch it just as well at home, not be disturbed, not pay $50, and that have my home popcorn. That I make better than the theaters and everything.
I want to try this here. Yeah, that's a pretty big gauntlet to throw down. I just wanted to ask about that.
Lots of butter.
I was going to ask about that because you were kind of talking about how there's going to be like the tent poles and that sort of thing. How do you figure that Netflix fits into that? Because you see Netflix getting a lot of these large titles after, but you also see Netflix put out some stuff of guys that aren't as well known or smaller kind of movies, which is nice.
Yeah.
Oh, so even the fact that they put out a Dan Gilroy movie or like the whole.
Well, I'm all for. I hate it as a person who runs a festival.
Yeah.
I hate Netflix.
Yeah,
because every movie that
Cam
Sundance,
came out the night that you were showing it.
It's Sundance, Netflix, and it's like no, there needs to be this middle ground of like getting things around. But there is, for every movie that makes it on Netflix, there's probably another 500 that don't.
That's true.
And there's probably of that 500, there's probably 10 in there that are really good, and then you can keep going out farther, and they'll still be okay and stuff. And those are the ones that will play the theaters and see that. And all the stuff Netflix gets isn't great.
No, that's very true. But I mean, a lot of times I find us even catching on our show where we'll have people talking about like, oh, you can watch this movie or this movie on Netflix.
That's because it's the best way for people to watch right now.
Yeah, it is, but it feels like such a throwaway thing to say, oh, this is on Netflix. But it's because Netflix has changed so much over the last, I guess, decade. It's probably been around a decade at least.
I think I got it when it was 2009. 2008.
Yeah, so basically on a decade is you're seeing a lot more where we can talk about like maybe these smaller budget or for whatever reason horror movies, this, that, or the other, where they are at least getting a little bit more of a platform. So it is nice to go watch this on Netflix or Shudder.
It's going to be easier and easier to see things.
Yeah,
it's going to be harder and harder to see things with people that aren't big, and unfortunately, I think.
Yeah, it's also a bummer that Samsung even announced this week that they're no longer making Blu-ray players. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like, Samsung isn't making Blu-ray players anymore.
Are you telling me that Blu-rays are outdated already? I just started upgrading my collection and it's already...
I think there's a fan base out there. Like, there's collectors that will always...
But that's where I think streaming is going to get better and better.
Yeah.
And if you look at, like, Shudder was one of our sponsors, and
we love Shudder.
I had Shudder before, and I got it again when we were doing just for this. I had like, hey, I have a promo code, I'll use it, type thing. And that's where I was watching movies, and I was like looking, like they have the whole director's commentaries for a whole bunch, so they're actually like they're feeding that
because it's fans, like real people making it like with heart.
And I think it's going to get easier and easier, and I also think like there's rumors of their Apple TV coming soon and stuff like that, where they're really going to hit, and it's going to be, now I have a one-stop shop where I can hit all these channels.
And like YouTube's also just trying to do the same thing as well.
Yeah.
Everybody is.
Everyone wants their cut of the pie.
Is it just going to become cable, but online, where you have to pay everybody for their streaming services? The one thing I don't like about streaming services and versus owning is you're always at their mercy. So they decide to take off.
That's what I say. All the people, like, because I fall asleep to The Office every single night. It's just like I still own all those on DVD because I know that one day Netflix is going to take that off. But that's why I use Netflix. It's The Office. And I own them already.
Yeah, and that's why it is a pain in the ass for someone like Mitch especially, or me who's just getting into it, is wanting to own all these physical copies, because I still hold that as some importance, and maybe that's kind of lost. I don't know. Maybe you could tell me better on the newer generations. Where
I don't know. So I went a few years ago. I was up to just under 1,000 DVDs and 350 Blu-rays.
Okay.
I'm now down to about 100 mix. I think, maybe.
But I mean,
and I got rid of everything because I just found I wasn't watching it. There's but that's where like, and I'm not the right case to look at because I am constantly getting fed things to watch, which means I never want.
Yeah, you're not like a typical experience.
The only downside I have is now when I'm like, oh hey, we need to watch some. Oh, Gavin, he's now 16. Let's watch. Oh, I would love for you to watch this movie. I'm like, oh great. Now I'm like, but truthfully, years ago, I would have just gone to the video store and rented it. Now I can just go to iTunes and rent it. Yeah. And no, it's not on the full Netflix, but it is streaming.
Yeah. Example. This is why I collect and why I still collect and why I will always collect is that, like, in the off chance that I end up having a family one day and I want to show my kid a movie that means a lot to me, I want to be able to know that I have it and I don't need to deal with fucking streaming fuck ups or something along those lines. Or even people say like everything's going to be online. Everything's already online. I got a hankering to watch River's Edge a couple months ago and I couldn't find it anywhere. You can't find it on iTunes. You can't find it on any streaming services. You can't find it on like anywhere online. And I found a DVD. Wow. Whoa. DVD through like our friend Theo. Right. He had it. He's like, I have a DVD copy if you want to borrow it. So I borrowed it from him. I'm like, it was such a pain in the ass to find that copy. It's just like
even Maximum Overdrive. iTunes, you couldn't rent it. You had to buy it for $10, and I was like, well, that's not happening. Yeah. So I rented it off the Cineplex store of all things for like $4 because I just don't really download illegally. Like I just don't anymore. You're at their mercy, and I don't like that. Plus, to lend it out, like to say to a buddy, like, "Hey, check this out," and just give them a physical copy of it.
I own 2 copies of It Follows on Blu-ray to just give to someone who hasn't seen it.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
And like we all own multiple copies of our favorite things, and that's what I'm just kind of saying as we're kind of wrapping this up. Is it doesn't feel like that physical aspect matters much to because we're no longer the younger generation. Mitch, myself, Diego. We're no longer like the up and coming. We are where we are, but we're looking at it doesn't seem like kids really care about, they don't want the 40th collector's anniversary of Halloween we're going, yeah, we want that.
I think they will, but it's going to be a very small population.
Yeah, it's going to be rare.
It's the true fans, the real dedicated ones, the ones who aren't just watching movies. That's the ones who actually are like you guys, reading the news, finding out what's coming out, all that. They're the one. That audience will always be there, I think, and there will always be some type of physical media. Yeah, or at some point. Not necessarily like a streaming service, but those ability to purchase.
It feels like all the joy's taken out of it when you just click and you play it. Like when I'm holding a physical copy of something, like when I wanted to go get Valentine, I found someone else had pre-ordered it. I'm like, who else is out there that wants this?
Plus, you can't. You need it to be able to boast on Instagram that you own this physical copy. Right. You flex on them hoes.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to order the UK version of a film.
Sometimes you just got to pay $30 for Valentine's special edition of Flex on Buzi. That's what I did. But I think where this came from is that stemmed from a compliment from Mike. So I appreciate that because we realized recently. One last thing before we close off, I've realized that we are the kings of receiving backhanded compliments because I don't think you saw this on Twitter, but even our friend Jesse Switzky was like, it's bad when the Terror Table has better production quality than this other podcast where I'm like, thanks.
Thanks, I guess.
And then same with like our friend Alexis was listening to another horror podcast who has like an insane production quality. Like it's like they're like radio jockeys in LA. So it's like
you can hear their skin move.
You can hear their breathing, like everything's so compressed. And she's like, I actually prefer your guys' like shitty carelessness, wrong facts. I'm like,
podcast.
Thanks.
We're dropping stuff halfway through. We're showing each other pictures. Like no one's gonna see it.
Yeah.
But I actually, for the most part, hate social media. Like everybody says that, and I do. It's true. But one thing I do like is seeing what everybody's watching. Yeah. So like when you guys are watching interesting stuff, and it's like I wouldn't know that you're watching it if it wasn't for Instagram or whatever. So before we go, OC girl throws up. Help them find peace.
Fuck you! You were doing it right at the end.
6th Sense.
Yes.
Yes. Misha Barton.
Yeah. All right. Yes, I can't remember, John. Did you have anything to plug or
keep watching on the Broadway Theater. Keep watching our website, skfilmfest.com.
Okay. Do you guys have some announcements that are going to be coming soon, or is it going to be still?
We're early. I do hope coming up in May that we're going to do a screening actually down in Regina.
Okay.
And that one of the evenings of the expo.
Is that the night where you're bringing Christopher Nolan down?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, totally.
Just for that little intimate Q&A.
Yeah, him and John Carpenter.
Okay.
And Eli Roth. And,
and they're all going to be talking about Interstellar.
We might show up.
Yeah. But no, November 19th to 24th.
Perfect. Yeah,
is the festival, and this year we the other announcement was that we added VR component to this year's festival.
Shit.
Really?
Yeah. So we're gonna do at least the first night is VR. We're going to see what's submitted. I love the idea of doing a total horror VR experience.
Cool.
We'll feed people through in small blocks.
Sure.
Awesome.
That, and if we get enough people interested, I don't do much during the days. So I have the theater, which means we could actually do screenings in front of the screenings. So we
I will
actually
take work
run
off.
each of those like that and fit in like an hour, like our short block.
Yeah, sure.
Basically for VR and
Okay.
stuff. So yeah, so we got VR, we got Drunken Cinema, we got the cartoons, and
You guys are doing the cartoon again this year?
oh yeah, hell yeah, that was fun.
For
So,
real.
yeah, it was such a blast.
You guys
actually.
are just like ramping it up
and
every year.
everything. Yeah, that's the plan. It's the 10th year.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Drunken Cinema, bring Anaconda, please. Play Anaconda.
I will
Yeah.
mention
So
that
as
this
soon
week.
as we find out, as soon as you guys make the announcements, obviously we can repost
and we
everything
do
and let people know.
keep watching our website.
Yeah.
I'm not posting all the time, but I'm posting a bit more than usual.
Okay.
And we are trying to set up some screenings right now for the next, not right away, but there's a couple we're helping to promote next month and that throughout
Perfect.
the year.
Awesome. Well, it's been fun, guys. Thank you
Yeah,
so much
thanks.
for coming on
Thanks a
short
lot.
notice.
Double guesting.
This was fun. We'll see you guys next week on the Terror Table, where we will be discussing Rawhead Rex with Diego.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.